Hey, how's it going, everybody at the Galactic Family world? This is the Galactic Family Podcast. I'm Draconi. I'm your ethereal guide, peacemaker, and ambassador to the stars. My mission is to illuminate all star children the path for fostering peace, love, and understanding across the cosmos. Through our movement, we strive for truth over secrecy, helping others connect with their galactic families. My personal journey guided me to my own hybrid star daughter, Ariana. Now, without further ado, today we have a truly special guest. Russell Reynolds is here from the paranormal, the driving force behind Beyond Life Paranormal Research, Missouri. That's a long name. Years of experience uncovering the mysteries of the unknown. Russell and his team, Cold Spotters, Missouri, have explored some of the most haunted locations in search of answers to life's biggest questions. What happens after we pass? Do spirits walk among us? And what secrets lie beyond the veil? Now, without further ado, this is Russell Reynolds.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
I'm glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the offer.
Oh, definitely, man. So, so what initially sparked your interest in the paranormal in the beginning?
Well, I had my first paranormal experience at the age of 6 years old. I lived in a haunted house, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, I had woken up to a noise in my bedroom doorway. Look up, and here's this apparition of a Civil War soldier standing in my doorway.
Wow.
And I was kind of like one of those kids, put a blanket over my head. It's not real. It'll go away. Got the courage again to look back out, and it was gone. But strange things would happen in that house all the time. The toilets would flush on their own, water would turn on, lights would flicker, the dog would growl and dig at a wall. My bedroom got messed up one day. My mom folded my laundry, put it on my bed. My dad was home from work, and he went upstairs. My laundry scattered about my room. My bed's a mess. My dresser drawers are open. And at night, the heat would get turned down. My dad would think it was us kids playing with the thermostat, but we were too small to even touch it. And
Eesh.
stuff would move around on the shelves of my mom's, and she'd think us kids were playing with it, or my dad was playing a joke on her. And so it never did get better. It just gradually kept going on and on. And then we woke up one morning to the car started.
What?
And this was well before auto start came out.
Your car started.
Yep, they woke up
It's
one
the
morning,
Herbie. Like,
and so we stayed there for probably a few more months. My dad wanted to open up the wall, and the attic had been sealed up, but
yeah.
renting it with option to buy, so he didn't bother to do it. We ended up moving out. Other people would move in, they'd stay maybe a couple months and then move out. Finally, when I hit about 15, a couple from New York City had bought it, and they started remodeling. Well, they ripped open that wall in the attic and they found Civil War money, uniforms, swords,
Oh, wow.
guns. And I did a little history research on the house when I got older, and come to find out it was the Civil War hospital and base.
Wow.
So there's confirmed deaths in the home from people dying. And as I got older, I started staying at my friend's house and neighbor's house, and their house was haunted, so I started seeing stuff there, and it kind of sparked my ambition to see what was going on and getting into the field to help people. And at 12 years old, I had died from a seizure and came back, and I was brought when I was brought back, I was brought back with abilities that I can see hear things. So I wasn't kind of your normal kid in school either. I was kind of the outcast and stuff like that. There was only a few of my friends that understood me, what I could do, and then when I hit 18 and graduated, a buddy of mine, we would go out to cemeteries and abandoned houses and investigate. He bought me a little EMF detector for my birthday one year, and I had a little digital recorder and a digital camera, and we would go out, check out this one abandoned house, and we were there one night, and I was snapping pictures out his car window. Well, we watch a door fly open with force, and this black shadow figure just comes out of the front porch doorway and then just disappears. I'm hanging out the window taking pictures, and my buddy hears footsteps along the driver's side of the van. Well, we don't have headlights on or nothing. He just slaps that thing in gear and he steps on it as I'm
That's
hanging
the
out
first
the
thing I
window.
would have done.
So we gave him the nickname Rev Run. And from there, I met Rob Dermarest from Ghost Hunters International. And I was a DJ back in high school also. And then when I graduated, I DJ'd several nightclubs and bars. So Rob reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, since you're a DJ and you want to get started in the field, you make me a mixtape while I go overseas that I can listen to, and I'll help
Yes.
you get started." So in 2006, Beyond Life Paranormal Research was founded in New York State.
And
And
that's what I was gonna see. Like, and from there, it has grown huge.
yep,
You've gone so many places.
I moved to Missouri in 2012, and I started a branch of this. I started the Missouri branch of it, and Beyond Life Paranormal Research was still running for several years back in New York State. I had a friend of mine in Pennsylvania. She was running it till she had some medical issues, so we decided to close that one down, and I kept this one going. And then about, I think, 3 or 4 years ago now, we got asked by Cold Spotters to take over Missouri for them. So now we are also Cold Spotters Missouri with Amanda Quill, which she's got teams all over the world, and now it's just booming from there. We do a lot of residential cases, and we've been to some of your bigger haunted locations like Waverly Hills. We've been to Missouri State. Gettysburg is another big one we've been to. We've done the orphanage in Gettysburg.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice. So what about like so any your memorable early investigations, like standout experiences that shaped you in your approach for what you do now?
it would be my very first demonic case that I've done. That one really irked me and then got me into studying demonology with Sister Farrah Rose Perry and Father Bob Bailey. We got called into this location. I can't go into too much details because of confidentiality for the client, but I can touch on some of it. We got called into this location. They've been experiencing stuff in the home, and the guy's wife was the one that was experiencing it. And we went there to interview her. We have forms that our clients fill out. She was filling out her questionnaire that we have for her with all the activity that she's experienced, and it wasn't even her writing. It was like something was influencing her to write it.
Oh, wow.
And she got to the point where she wanted to kill her husband. That family was going in pretty well disaster. The
Wow.
husband's a very nice guy. He's a firefighter, EMT, and so when we got there, it started up. We went downstairs to see where all the activity was going on in the basement. Well, the closet in question had a noose hanging in it from the previous owners.
Oh,
She was terrified of that closet. I opened the door up, and immediately she freaked out. She started crying. She ran upstairs. Her daughter goes, "I love you, mom." And she just took her hand, went like this, and just ran out the door. And we went out after her. One of my members were holding her hands. We were trying to calm her down because I wanted her to leave for the night to see if it was the actual house or it's attached to her.
Yeah.
Well, as we were trying to calm her down, her eyes rolled in the back of her head and she goes, "It ain't, it's mine. I don't want it to leave." And then an upside down cross gets scratched into the side of her neck.
So it was her, it wasn't the place.
Nope, it was her from
Wow.
past trauma that she's had gone through, so she was an easy target for it. And it took about 6 months to get that place back to normal. Her husband said to us, "You gotta help my marriage, my wife, my family." I said, "You got our word. We will not leave here until this thing is out of here and gone."
That's exactly what I would have done.
So we 6 months it took, and now she's back to normal. Family's all normal. I DJ'd her daughter's wedding. We're like
Awesome.
family there. We go over for dinner, and she invites us over for Thanksgiving, and
And that's how you grow.
yep. And then from there, it just kept going on, word of mouth and ratings. We just kept getting calls like crazy for residential cases. We've probably done over 160 residential cases.
Oh, wow. Like what are like the biggest obstacles you face when investigating the paranormal?
For like the residential is a lot of mental health issues that we have
Okay.
come across with schizophrenic people to try to decipher the in betweens if it's paranormal or it's their mental illness.
Okay.
So we have to do a lot of background checks and find out what kind of medications they're on. And
So you do the same thing as if like a priest would come there and
yep,
say, before we do this exorcist, we need to know this, your
yep,
medical, your background, your family, your
yep,
everything.
yep,
Okay.
yep. We have to do that because you don't know what you're walking into,
And that's
especially.
when you have them sign forms and everything saying you will be doing this and they know it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's standard permission forms that are giving us permission to come in their home. If they got kids, to talk to the kids.
Same thing like MUFON does with like investigations on the ground.
Yep,
We go in there and say, "Hey, we need your permission though to get scientific evidence from this location," and then we get their permission.
yep, and I mean, a lot of times there's a few of them we didn't find any paranormal activity. It was just between them what was going on. They were kicking up the energy because they're either arguing or they're on drugs or they're on alcohol. One case we did turned out to be a sexual molestation case.
Oh wow,
A guy was sexually molesting his stepdaughter,
wow!
and
And you having them sign that now you're a mandatory reporter.
yep, and
So it's like, well, I gotta make a phone call now,
yep, we actually give them the choice to do it,
or you're gonna do it. Yeah,
and that client did it. She called on her husband, and he is now locked away in prison.
good, good. I'm glad
Another
for that.
another case we did have paranormal activity in the house, but it also had where the guy was pimping his wife out for money.
Whoa,
She was over here from the Philippines, and she had a little boy. She was pregnant when she come over. She had a little boy, and they were living in this house that, I mean, this house wasn't even fit to live in.
jeez,
Rats, roaches, mice. It was falling apart, rotted.
man.
The dog, they won't let the dog outside. He lives up in the stairwell and he goes upstairs, goes to the bathroom. We walked upstairs and dead rats all over the floor. We were sitting
Wow.
there talking to the client and a rat comes rolling a ball out
What?
in their living room.
Like a dog?
Yep.
Oh my God, no. We don't have no pet rats. Everybody get out.
And so that case, we weren't able to help them. I mean, they didn't listen to any of our instructions. They went right back to their old ways. He's pimping her still. They're
Well,
still
there's only
married.
so much you can do.
Yep. And we won't abandon a client If they want the help, we're going to get them the help. If we can't help them in other ways, we'll get people to come in and help them. We have
Yeah.
that connection, especially if they need like an exorcism. We have that connections when it
Yep.
comes to that.
That's a very good thing to have connections. Like I said, that's why you build them
Yep.
because you learn from the beginning and then you build them up from there.
Yep.
Um, like working in high risk areas. Like, have you gone in like cave environments and like coal mines and old towns of coal mines and is it more like mountainous stuff area or underground or have you ever done anything like that?
No, not yet. We have never
Okay.
been really called for any of the cave stuff or anything like that, but we're always open for it.
Okay. That's awesome, man. Like I've done a couple, not like anything big, just in my own time. I've done a couple researches on it. I've heard that uh, coal mines and cave accidents and everything have a lot of just paranormal stuck there
Oh,
activity. Um, but what now? What's the tools that you use that you trust the most when you
uh,
go out there?
I trust my digital recorder,
Okay.
my millimeter with REM pod, because that one doesn't pick up as much as like your K2 meters. I do not trust the K2 meter.
Okay. And what about the SLS?
My SLS I trust more than the cheaper ones because mine does not map out tables, chairs. This thing's been heavily modified. It does night vision and
Okay.
it does 3D.
Oh, nice.
So this one does not map out your tables and chairs. So if you're getting a figure on it, you're getting something paranormal.
Nice.
And I've had it sit there and look at a blank room without anybody in front of it, and then all of a sudden you'll get that stick figure appearing on it.
Yep. Yep. And then you're like, and you're looking at your equipment going, I trust my equipment. That's what it is.
Yep.
Uh, what now what is the best practices for collecting evidence? Like how do you validate what's real versus like what you can explain versus what's like, okay, this is way out of my pay grade type of stuff.
Right. That's a good question. Well, with that is you want to your main thing, especially for like your residential,
Okay.
you want to go in, try to debunk as much as you can. I mean, like me, I've got a construction background, electrical and plumbing
So
background.
you're
So
looking for pipes, rusty pipes, electrical, like shorts, buzzing in the boxes, anything like that.
yep, my dad as well. My dad built houses from the ground up. So that's what we're looking at the structure first
Yep.
before we call it paranormal. We set up a whole array of cameras. So
Now, do you try also I've noticed also with certain locations, if you're in a higher EMF area type of zone, it would affect the house in a different way also. Do you
yeah.
check for that as well, the EMF?
Oh yeah, we do EMF readings and like we did one case in Indiana that we got called in. It was an apartment building and this lady called us into her apartment. We walked in there and even the Mel meter was reacting to it. This place was so filled with high EMF that it was causing her to hallucinate
Oh, wow.
and see a girl in the corner.
And it was only the EMF.
Yeah, it was only EMF and she had gotten her kids taken away and was blaming paranormal activity. She wanted us to sign papers for the court saying that it was paranormal activity that got her kids taken away, and I told her, I said, "Paranormal activity don't stand up in a court of law."
No.
I said, "If you follow the case of Arnie Johnson that my cousins Ed and Lorraine did, Arnie served 5 years in prison for that murder.
Mhm.
So, it's not gonna hold up, a judge is gonna laugh at you."
The only thing that you'd be able to do probably is like you said, back it up with evidence. Like, hey, have your team say, look at the EMF readings outside the house. It's about, this, and look at it inside the house. It's way above normal. We don't know why this is causing it, Judge. Maybe they just need to move and 3 months down the road reevaluate or something. You know what I mean?
Yep. And this lady was also diagnosed schizophrenic,
Okay.
and we had set up the cameras. We'll still give you a full investigation, even though there's high EMF fields. And we had set up the cameras, left to go eat, let the place calm down a little bit. And we come back, she says that little girl appeared in the corner, and I had a camera pointed at it. So I went back, rewound the footage on the
Okay.
DVR. There was no girl in the corner.
Just the
And
EMF.
we got looking around the house, went into the kids' room, and we found out why the kids had been taken away was because of neglect.
Oh.
There was human feces all over the walls, the floors. The
Wow.
boyfriend had ripped out the smoke detectors in the apartment that were connected
Jeez.
to the sprinkler system and the electrical, so there was exposed wires. The electrical panel was right in the kitchen,
Wow.
and that apartment building used to be a factory back in the 1800s.
And they just converted it.
Yep. So back then, your older buildings, none of them ever they never put grounds in.
That
Your
and the that and some of the sorry to interrupt, that and they don't usually, because I've lived in a couple buildings also where I'm like built in the 1920s, 30s,
Mhm.
that if you go in the basement, some of the wires are not the insulated wires. They're the straight wires. And I looked up and I'm like, oh, we gotta change that.
Yeah, a lot of them old houses got that knob and tube wiring, and a lot of that stuff is spliced into walls and
And that caused a lot of EMF too.
yep, because there's no ground rod outside. So you're getting that's where you get your a lot of static. So
Okay.
that static will affect your meters as well.
That probably affects remember this, people. If you got wireless internet, probably affects it inside the house.
Yep.
That's dead spots and stuff.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And your wireless internet will set off a K2 meter.
Yes. Yep.
And it would also put out that EMF field to where you get near it, you'll feel it.
Yeah, it's just like the you take out that metal sheet in the microwave or whatever and just
Yep.
paste your face to that and see what
Yep, exactly.
but yeah, like oh my gosh, like that's a crazy story. Like what eventually did happen? Like in the end of this? Does
Uh,
everything work out peacefully or did she didn't
I
want
don't
your help
know.
anymore?
They didn't want our help anymore, and I
Ah.
told them, I was like she wanted us to do a cleansing. I'm like, "There's nothing here for us to even cleanse out of here."
I mean, the best thing you could have done was give her, this is the scientific evidence that we have. I can't speculate in court to a judge that you're
That's
being
what
haunted by a spirit.
I said, "The best thing you could do is get maintenance up here, get these smoke detectors put back in, get this EMF cut down,
Yep,
and that'll cure your problem on your hallucinating on things."
exactly. Now with EMF too, if you're not going anywhere, you're cooped up in the house and you don't
Yep.
drink a lot or eat a lot, then that the EMF will just soak into your body pretty much, and it'll cause effects as well.
Yeah, it causes rash, it'll make you sick,
Yep.
nauseated, vomiting.
So, do you have any personal encounters that you want to tell that have changed your perspective on ghost investigating?
Uh, it would be at Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Ooh.
We were on the 4th floor in the surgery room, and we decided to do a little role play, and I played the guinea pig.
Oh, jeez.
And we our tour guide, Vince, had told us he laid on that surgery table doing a spirit box session, and his leg got lifted up. So we wanted to see if we could have that recreated So I laid on the table. I had member wheel me under the light, and I was playing like I was sick. I was coughing,
Yeah.
and he was yelling for a doctor that we're gonna lose him. And we had a motion light sitting in the doorway. The motion light kicks on, and then
Huh.
I hear a noise, and I went to sit up, and I was being restrained to the table. I could not move my legs, my arms. It felt
Oh,
like
wow.
pressing right here on my chest. And then we heard two loud female screams right outside the door.
Sheesh.
And we had another team in there with us. So I said, text that other team, find out where they're at. They were up on the fifth floor, the other side of the building, up on the roof doing an Estes method.
Okay.
So it was none of them outside the doorway.
Jeez. See, I mean that, and that's proof right there. You got it right there. It's right in front of you. There's nobody around. It set
Yep.
it off, and you're like, okay.
And then we were walking back because you can only investigate till 4 in the morning. And my one member and I, we're walking side by side down the hallway. This white figure comes running right at us, blows right in between us. You could feel the cold breeze as it goes right in between us and then just disappears.
Oh, wow.
We both look at each other like, what the hell was that? And the other team come in behind us, and I asked them if they've seen it. They never saw it.
What? So it was only you guys?
It was only us that seen it.
Oh, wow. Sheesh. So how do you address skeptics and still try to maintain the credibility in the paranormal research field?
With the skeptics, I love skeptics. I can eat them up all day. I always invite them, come along with us.
Yeah.
We'll show you proof. I'll take you to the most haunted place I know of, and I'll show you proof.
Well, sometimes that's all it takes. It's like if it's right there in your face, there's no denying it.
Plus, I usually show them the one video I got where I've got a member that gets partially possessed and her face morphs to somebody else.
It actually like
Yep,
no way.
yep.
Ooh,
She's sitting
that would
there in front of the
creep me
DVR
out.
camera, and she's sitting there taking her thumb and just going like this down her face.
Ooh, that would creep me out.
And then her face just starts changing to somebody else, and she gets this real sadistic grin on her face.
Oh,
And
that's when I run out the room, dude. I'm
she don't even
gone.
know she's doing it.
Dude,
We
I'm gone.
we didn't even know at that time, and we get up to leave, and she goes to walk out the lobby door, and the door slams in her face.
Ooh.
We get out in the lobby, and she goes, "My face feels like it's on fire," and we look on the side of her face, and there's 3 scratches going down her face.
Jeez.
So I reviewed the footage, and I ended up finding that footage and just watching her sit there just like this. And she doesn't only do it once, she gets up because she feels something in her eyes, so she has her husband check.
Yeah.
She was doing that prior before she got up, and then she sits back down in the same seat and starts doing it again. And
It's like something just took her over for a
yeah,
second.
and the place that we were investigating is known for that. This place was actually on an episode of Dead Files.
Wow.
It's a place called the Madhouse, the haunted movie theater.
Oh, that's a great name.
They call it Marshall Cinema, and the owner was having a bunch of experiences, so she called Dead Files to come in. Dead Files did an investigation. We actually confirmed that Amy Allen is a legit psychic medium.
Okay.
There is no fake to Amy Allen. We confirmed everything back. We can back up her claims,
Hey, I like it when people can back people up. That's the best news because when you have people to back you up, nobody can say anything.
and we've got a lot of experiences in there. My dad's gotten pushed to the ground. They tried to push him over a balcony.
Oh,
The first investigation we did there, we were checking out the one projector room in Cinema 2, and my one member and I were up there with the owner, and next thing I hear, boom, and I look and my father's on the ground.
Oh.
He seen this black figure just run right through him after this little kid figure.
Oh, wow. So
And
it was almost like let me think of what it's called, where the people are stuck in the moment that they did
yep.
in the residence or business. They're
Yeah, it's
stuck
kinda
in
like a
that.
residual,
Yeah, residual. There you go. Yep, yep, yep.
and he ended up having bruise marks here like a hand and one on his back.
Oh, wow. That thing really wanted to like hurt him.
Oh, yeah, and it Cinema 2 is one of the most haunted spots in that theater. Even Amy Allen said that's where the dead go to throw down because she's heard so many voices when she was up there, and we were up there this was a couple years ago.
Like Fight Club for the Dead.
We took some of the Marshall Cinema staff, they do a haunted house for Halloween every year, so we help out with that, and I get to play one of the characters in the haunted house.
That's cool.
So we did a little mini investigation afterwards, and we were up there running equipment, and my one member was running, Spirit Talker,
Hmm.
and it said it came out on Spirit Talker, it says, "Touch, Daniela." Well, Daniela is one of the employees
Oh, wow.
that was there that night, and she was like, "Nope, I'm out of here. I'm not doing it."
Don't you just love that when people are like, I want you to show me
Yeah,
something. And
yeah,
then they walk in and then everything goes haywire and they're like, nope, you guys can have it.
right. And it's funny. She got out of there, and I was like, "Why do you want to leave?" I uh
Wow.
I slept up in there.
Oh, I guess we got a big fan. Russell Reynolds is
Oh
allowed
yeah,
to talk about Ghost Fight Club. Hey, Ghost Fight Club. Hey, remember, Fight Club doesn't exist. You don't talk about Fight Club.
right.
But no, so can is there a way that we can scientifically prove the existence of the paranormal? In certain ways, can we do it?
In some ways, I mean, with your full spectrum cameras, your shadow figures, but I mean, you still can't get definitive answers and proof. That's why there's no professionals in this field. We always learn something new every time we go out into the
Okay.
field to investigate.
That's a good way to look at it, though, because it's everybody's learning every day.
I mean, your TV blows it up that everybody's professionals in the field, and you're really not.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's like everybody throws the demon word around. The demonic is real, but it's rare. You'll deal with one in maybe like 20 cases you do.
So is it like if you're if you're a negative person,
Mhm.
would you attract negative spirits or negative entities to you?
Oh, yeah. You
Okay,
will. You definitely
you're
will. I
attracted to
mean,
that.
if you're negative, you're into the violence, you're into the drugs, hurting people, that's a hotbed for demonic activity. They love that. They feed off of that.
Okay.
And once you get that, I mean, you can even bring a demon in by doing spirit boxes.
Ouija board.
Ouija board's another good example. Tarot cards. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have them intentions set,
Mhm.
you're self protected, you're opening that door. And if you don't close it, you're letting, just like a revolving door, you're letting anything in. And most people think when they're playing with the Ouija boards, oh, I'm talking to my dead grandma.
Hmm.
No, you're not. You're talking to Zozo himself,
And
disguising
he's
himself as your dead
mimicking the
grandma.
voice of your grandma. Yeah.
And I mean, even past trauma, if you're like schizophrenic people, you've got a history of violence where you've been raped, beaten, and stuff like that, you're a perfect hotbed. Kids are a perfect hotbed for demonic activity as well. I
Well,
mean,
kids are more open though. They're more
yep,
susceptible because they're just they haven't developed enough to understand the world that they live in today, pretty much.
and haunted objects is another good thing. I mean, people that get these haunted objects, these haunted dolls. If you follow my cousin Ed Warren's theory, God does not let a child inhabit a doll,
Hmm.
like your case with Annabelle. They thought Annabelle was a child. Annabelle's not a child. She's a demonic entity inhabiting that doll because a doll, what do you want to do with a doll? You want to hold it, hug it,
Mhm.
something you're happy with. Well, that demonic entity disguises itself like that. So you do it and then it latches onto you and then you're stuck with it. Once it mixes with your heart chakra, you're done.
Oh, lovely.
You're going to start, when you get a demonic entity in your home, you'll start hearing the infestate is what they call infestation. You'll start hearing your knocks, your bangs in threes, your clocks are stopping at 3 in the morning. And when you start getting to the oppression stage, that means that demonic entity has picked its target, and you're going to start waking up in with bruises. You're going to start feeling sick, tired all the time. You're going to fight with your family. You're not going to want to be bothered with friends, your kids.
So you just want to change like
Yep,
everything about you just becomes you.
yep. It tears your life apart. It gives you what they call a slow drain, and then it finally starts breaking you down more and more. You start having health issues because basically what it wants is your soul.
Okay.
And then you get to the possession stage. And when you get to that possession stage, then you're gone. You're talking in different languages. You're violent.
Now, are you when you're talking different languages, are they is it almost like channeling? Like I've heard a lot of channelers that say I allow this peaceful being to come through and talk through me, but it seems like demonic is like you're gonna talk to me, or
A,
I'm gonna talk through you.
a demonic was never living, so a demonic doesn't have to listen to you.
It's like a leech.
You can have a demonic entity that can be stuck with you for years, and you don't even know about it till it decides it wants to show itself, and it
Ooh.
develops that strength. It can linger in a house for years and years until it finds its perfect target, and then it's on after that.
So
And that's
it's like a parasite leech.
yep, and that's where
Oh wow.
you need an exorcism after that.
Now, have you done that a lot with like calling exorcisms in, and do you actually stay and
Oh yeah,
help? Okay.
oh yeah, yeah. We do. If it gets too bad, I turn it over to Farrah. If it's something we can handle, if we catch it, a lot of times we catch them in time to where it doesn't have to go that far. We can do our standard cleansing and we get rid of it.
Yeah.
But if it's that bad, I get a hold of Farrah. She works for the diocese office, and they come in with the bishops and that, and they do the exorcism because they have to be sanctioned by the
Yeah.
church.
I was just about to say, now do you give them like you're the first team going in,
Yep.
so you give
Yep.
them all your evidence and say this is what we've observed, and
Yep.
then they take it from there?
Yep. They
Okay.
take it from there. I give it to Farrah, and she takes it from there.
Okay. All right. What about for painting like the paranormal scene in Missouri and community involvement? Like, what is what's the top spots to investigate in Missouri?
Missouri State Penn is one of them.
Okay.
That's uh. Then if you go out a little further to Atchison, McIntyre Villa is a big one. The
Now,
Sally House.
what's the villa? Is that like a
It's a big old 1889 McIntyre villa. It's a big old Victorian home that's haunted.
Oh wow.
Several confirmed deaths. It's owned by Stephanie O'Reilly.
Portal or
Yeah, it's got some portals in there, and then there's a lot of confirmed deaths that happened in that home. And
wow. And people still live there.
oh yeah, it's Stephanie actually lives there. She rents it out for investigators to come in, and they just
That's what I would do. Don't stay here, but you can investigate.
yep. And there's the LeBold Mansion out there, also that's haunted.
Oh wow.
And then they just opened up Leavenworth Prison for investigations.
Oh, that would be cool.
That
I know I went out to Alcatraz a couple years back. That was a pretty good tour that I did
yeah,
out there.
that's on my list of places to go to.
Yep, I finally got to go like 3 years ago, and I was stoked. I got to go with my brother.
And then we have the Beatty Mansion out here is another haunted location. That's
You get a lot of haunted plantations.
we did one here. There's some plantations here in Missouri that were former plantations in Chillicothe, Missouri.
Okay.
We actually investigated one of the houses that were part of that plantation.
Wow.
And in my one video, you can actually see I'm sitting by myself in a room in front of the DVR camera, and I was in a t-shirt, and you see my sleeve is kind of like this, like
Hmm.
something holding it in the air, and then you just see it
Oh
drop.
wow.
And we've gotten a lot of. I got a figure on camera when we first did it. Behind the curtain of the window, you see this figure come in like this, and then go out quick, come back, fade back in, and
Just a
then
black figure.
no, you can actually see the one eye, the nose,
Oh whoa.
and then it just fades out and just disappears.
No way.
And
Wow.
that house is known for it's had confirmed slaves in it, and there's children spirits in that house.
Now, when you go to something like that, you're like, we're just here to investigate. We really can't cleanse this big of a ordeal that happened.
You can cleanse them. There's a certain way you have to do it. You have to make sure you cover every square inch when you're cleansing.
Okay.
A lot of people, when they do cleansings, even when clients cleanse their own houses, if they don't know what they're doing, don't do it because all you're doing is just angering whatever is there.
Yeah, it's like lighting a match and running around after a fly.
Yep, that thing's gonna go laying dormant until everything clears, and then it's gonna come back out again, and it's gonna be 10 times stronger and more angrier, and then it makes it harder on us when you call us in to deal
It's like,
with it.
oh yeah, well, I just told it to F off and threw some stuff against the
Yep.
wall and got really angry at it, and now I called you guys.
Yeah, you don't ever challenge, you don't provoke. If it was an asshole when it was alive, it's gonna be an asshole when it's dead.
Yep, 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 yep.
And most of them are regular spirits that once owned the house or and to them, you're trespassing in their space. They
Exactly.
don't know why you're there.
It's but also probably when people are doing like renovations too with houses, you probably get a lot of calls because you're changing the space that they're in.
Yep. Yeah, when you remodel, especially like residual energy, that is just like a record playing over and over again. They do it the same time every night, every day. If you had, say, like this wall here, right here was a door at one time,
Yeah.
you made it into a wall, that entity is just going to keep walking through it just like it was a door.
Well, it's not even there to him.
To him, it's still a doorway because that's what he did when he was alive.
Okay. Huh. That's weird. It's like so the house structure still looks the same to him.
Yep.
Oh wow, okay.
And a
What
lot of them don't realize they're dead either. They're either waiting for family They think their family's still there.
Have you helped a couple pass on?
Oh yeah, we have done quite a few, help them pass on.
That's lovely.
Last case we did, I actually helped 2 of them that were trapped there. They were actually murdered out on the street,
Oh, wow.
and I helped them. I sent them on their way, and they crossed over. Except for the one, he did not wanna cross over because he wasn't a very good one. He was a bad man when he was alive,
Yeah.
so
Well, what?
he did not wanna leave. He's like, "This is my home, I'm staying here." I was like, "Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah, right.
Your
We're
body
doing
is
this,
this
and you're
client,
leaving.
you're getting out of here."
Yeah, exactly. What what collaborations do you have? Like, do you have teams of people that you certain work with? Like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
team is like for haunted houses. This team is for, if we go in the woods.
Yep. Yeah, we do. We work with D&M Paranormal on, residential cases like that, we'll do that. So, we'll work with D&M on house cases, like, we're helping them assisting on a case now, and then we'll work with a bunch of cold spotters teams and stuff like
Okay.
since we're part of them, and
So you have certain teams set up already. Like,
yep,
you get a phone call and it's like, hey, we're going to the woods, so we need Jack and this person, and we'll head out.
yep.
Okay. All right.
We work with Outlaw Paranormal out of Tennessee, SRS Paranormal, another one, Vixen Paranormal out of Texas.
Any Bigfoot groups or anything?
Uh,
Or do
Carter
you?
Carter Bouchard, he's our local Bigfoot guy here in Missouri. He actually was a consultant on the Finding Bigfoot show when they came out here to Missouri and Kansas. So
Okay.
we're going out on one with him 'cause
Nice.
I've never got to experience a Bigfoot investigation. So I said, "This when you go, I want to go with you." So we're going to the Mark Twain National Forest because I said I want
Well,
to try one on my SLS.
I've always been told, go out there with a pure heart and pure intentions, and they'll make themselves known.
Oh yeah. And then we're working on an investigation with Outlaw Paranormal for Tennessee to go out and find feral people of the Appalachian and the Smoky Mountains.
Nice. What about like so you're investigating uh you're investigating an area. You start your investigation, and a bunch of people from the neighborhood start coming around and are like, what are they doing? How do you react to like the residents that like you're around the area, they see all this equipment coming in, they're like, what is going on?
Well, for like residential, we try to stay private as can be. You won't see nothing on our cars. It's typically like we're just visiting the homeowners as friends. We'll wait till dark to bring the equipment in so they don't see it. So the neighbors aren't wondering what's going on, what are they doing there?
Oh no, yeah. Well, you know what, we might have to do that, but I might need, a couple, a bulletproof vest and couple pows and a bunch of other stuff. We'll look for the jujue. I think it's, how do you say it?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
Jujue.
Yeah, something like that.
I know it's not a good creature to go look for.
No, it's not.
But yeah, so you pretty much try to stay as give them as much privacy as possible.
Yep. Yeah,
And
we
if you're doing like maybe like a resident, like a business or something, then maybe you'll promote because they would like you to.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do events. We just did one last year for the Warrensburg Courthouse for the Historical Society, and, so we took about 20 people with us, and, we help out with a lot of events too. Also,
Okay. So you're like you just it's the same thing like in the beginning we were talking about the connections and everything that you make along the way helps you, build everything up.
yep. And you got to get that credibility out there too. You don't want to go in this with an ego or
I was
trying.
just about to ask that too. Like how do you go into an investigation? Um, do you I mean, I'm gonna come out with my own thing and say, I always go into an investigation, peaceful feelings, not no negative thoughts in my head and just wanting to, you know, perceive what's there. That's my feelings when I go in, you know.
That's how we do it, especially for like a client because they're already scared. They don't know where to turn. We go in and we treat them like they're our own family.
Okay, good, good, good. That's the way to do it, man. That's awesome.
And even when we're done, we don't give up on them. We still call, check up on them. We'll come out and visit them if we need to, or if something decided they wanted to come back in, we'll go back out, and we don't charge at all. So we do everything free of charge.
Nice. So how do you get involved in paranormal research? Like advice for newcomers looking to explore the field a little.
Uh, Start off small. Do your research, like
I mean,
I
would you do like buy this, SLS app on your phone and the SLS voice thing on your phone and it'll happen. Well, yeah, it'll happen. You got wireless.
I tell them go with a team that's experienced. Learn, get the training. Don't go out trying to do this on your own because if you don't know what you're doing and you do run into something dark, you're going to get yourself hurt.
Hmm.
Also, do a lot of research. Read, like I did. I studied Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Background of the area. Yep.
I studied them. I studied Hans Holzer and all those. I researched demons, did a lot of reading on them, and then that's how I learned. And then my connection with Rob and Florida Ghost Team, I learned from them also. They trained me and taught me, and
Awesome. That is awesome. Um, for what kind of paranormal stories and research have you personally written about?
uh, I'm in the process now of writing a book on all my cases, and it's going to explain about the paranormal, my
Nice.
theories, what I've seen, and the book's called "Paranormal Through an Investigator's Eyes,"
Okay.
and it's going to tell about the demonic, the paranormal, and then it'll dive into a lot of my notable cases, my demonic cases, to even my regular spirit cases.
And you'll
So,
probably put like pictures like, hey, look, this is what the meter said or whatever.
yep,
Okay. Awesome.
and we don't go into a home to tell you that it's haunted. We're gonna try to disprove it before we prove it, because
Okay.
there's always an explanation to everything.
There is too, because if you look deep enough, everything is, was it what was it? Light, vibration, and,
Mhm.
and frequency.
Yep.
So everything is that down to its core.
And there is that saying, light attracts light, dark attracts dark. Light
Yes, exactly.
light and dark don't mix.
Now, you you started hosting, right, on the Supernatural Incorporated network.
Yep, Supernatural Inc. Yep, I have my own podcast, Beyond Life Paranormal Podcast. That's on every Saturday.
Okay. And who are some of your favorite guests you had on?
Uh, Keith and Carl Johnson, which are also my cousins as well.
Oh, nice.
John Zaffis was another favorite one of mine. Wade Kirby from Nesper. That man's just a ball of knowledge, a mentor to me, and he's awesome to have as a guest.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Rob Dermarest was another one. He was funny. He's one of those because of him being on TV. He tells it like it is.
Oh yeah. Well, how do you when somebody comes at you like with a myth or something, like, remember you said you love when people come at you, right? I've got one for you in the chat room, believe me. But how do you debunk the myths with, the common misconceptions about hauntings and investigations? Like, what are some things that you're going to walk in and be like, this is what's supposed to be here, this is not what's supposed to happen?
Well, for like me with my abilities, I can tell you if it's demonic or it's a regular spirit. Same with my dad with his abilities. We can walk in a house and tell you what's there. We already know it when we walk in, because when you're walking in a house and you're feeling something darker, it's going to feel like you're walking through mud. It's going to
Like
be
you're like thick in the mud, pretty much, like thick in the
Yep,
air.
yep, you're going to feel that heaviness and that pressure on your chest. For me, when I'm dealing with something dark, it feels like somebody took their fist and drove it right here between my eyes.
Hmm. Like just the pressure of it coming
Yep,
back.
yep.
Ooh.
With a regular spirit, you don't feel I feel at ease, calm. I can feel their energy, but it's nothing like a demonic entity feeling that.
Okay. um has there ever been a moment in your investigations that made you question any kind of belief you had on the paranormal?
What was that? You
Oh, I said, has there ever been a moment in your investigations that made you question your belief about the paranormal?
uh I don't think so.
Because you guys are just getting evidence all around.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that makes it better. It's not like you're going to a place and 10 places later, 20 places later, you get one thing.
Right. And
um,
I've got battle scars from it.
oh, wow.
So
Like pushed down or,
I've been pushed, I've been scratched,
oh, wow.
I've been hit, I've been thrown in the doors.
I know one time I made something mad and I got thrown against the wall, but I was so little and I was like, is this really happening or didn't it happen? I was so little at that time. But I remember getting picked up and thrown.
Yeah, we were doing a case in Oklahoma and the guy was doing some demonic worshiping in his home,
Oh, jeez.
and his mom had called us in because he had two little boys in the home and a 19-year-old daughter. And we were investigating. My dad and I were the only two that could make it because it was just short notice. It was an emergency case. And so we went out there, and the guy wanted us to leave.
Huh.
And we weren't going to leave because his mom asked us to stay.
Yeah.
And I investigated for a little bit, decided to take a break, and it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, we're watching the DVR cameras, my dad and I are, and the camera sits there and it's just sitting there pulsating.
Oh, wow.
And then it just starts getting worse. and then you see this big black figure that stood probably 6'5" appear in the hallway.
Ooh.
So I said to my dad, "Keep an eye on it. I'm gonna go back there and check it out."
Yeah.
And so I went back there, and I'm standing there, and I'm staring at this black entity just standing there. Well, this thing decides it's dropping down to 5 feet, comes running directly at me.
Wait, it shrunk itself?
It shrunk itself and come running
What?
at me and disappeared right at my feet. And I'm hanging on. I wear a St. Benedict's medal that's been blessed,
Hmm.
and 3 scratches appeared right here on my arm that looked like somebody took razor blades.
Ooh.
And it was its warning that if you don't get out of here, I'm gonna hurt you.
So I mean, you're in this kind of situation, are you running for the door, or are you like
I
calmly like, okay, I'll take care of you?
Yep, it was just, "I'll take care of you."
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's
I'm
what
not
I
ru
would do.
I don't run. They live off of fear, and that's what it wanted.
Yep.
They figured I would fear it, that I would run out that door, pack up, and leave, and it could go on its merry way and keep terrorizing.
Well, I guess you can't move an immovable object.
No, and it left those scars, and a lot of people don't realize there's a difference between spirit scratches and demonic scratches.
You can still feel them after they heal.
Yep,
I
and
I believe that.
they're just like razor blades, and they do it in threes, which is
It,
mocking the Holy Trinity.
it's still a it's a it's like, even if it heals, the energy that they did that negative thing scratches in that location is still there. That's why it still comes out later on.
Yep,
It's still going to be there, like a
yep,
ghost limb or something.
and I talked to the mom. The guy wasn't gonna stop doing what
Mm,
he was doing. And I said to the mom, "Your best bet is take these kids and take them to your house and let them live with you."
yeah.
The girlfriend, I called her on the side. I said, "Your best bet is to get away from him as well,
Jeez.
because he's not gonna stop." And he didn't. He tried to kill her.
Oh wow.
They were going down the road in his vehicle, and they got in an argument. He tried to strangle her, and she jumped out of the moving vehicle at 70 miles an hour down the highway.
Do you think he was like momentarily possessed at the time?
Yep.
Oh wow.
He was back doing his demonic worship thing, so he was that demon came right back in again no matter how much we cleanse the house.
Doesn't matter if you open the door.
He just opens the door and lets it back in even though I sealed it up with blessed salt. He broke it and just let it right back in.
And you do that and it gets stronger too.
Oh, yeah, once because I've already angered it by me chasing it out.
Exactly, man. Like you're like Ghostbusters, but without actually seeing it and hoping that it doesn't do something malice towards you. And if you do see it, well, hey, at least I know where you're at.
Yeah, exactly, and
So, what, so what role does intuition or gut feeling play in your work? Like, how much do you rely on it? Like
oh,
me, I'm walking into a space and it's like I can kind of get the energy vibrational around the room. Like, this is a nice room. I can be in here. Or
mhm.
no way, this is really dark in here.
Yeah, I always trust that gut feeling. If I feel in my gut that it's bad, I will back out and regroup and talk with the rest of my team on how to combat it.
Okay. Have you ever had to do that before? Like you went by yourself somewhere just to
Oh, yeah.
say, I'm going to check this out real quick. Should be nothing. And then you're like, I need backup.
Yeah, I've backed out of situations like that because when you're by yourself and you got nobody in earshot of you, you don't have that buddy system going, it's a good way for you to get possessed or get hurt.
Now, when you're by yourself, also, here's another question. When you're by yourself, like I've had this happen sometimes. I'll be in like the woods or something investigating, and I'll just be off the phone. My friend will call me on the phone, and I'll be talking to him for a little bit, or I'll talk to somebody on the phone when I'm in the woods, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I hear their voice. Like I just heard the person that I talked to on the phone that's 150 miles away right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
they sound like they're right here in the woods and everything. And they're like, hey, I need some help over here. And I'm like, I just literally got off the phone with you. There's no way I'm going that way.
Yep.
Like, are
I
they trying to bait or?
Oh yeah, they're trying to suck you in to because it knew you were by yourself, so you're vulnerable when you're by
Ah,
yourself.
okay.
So
So
it tries
you've had that happen before?
oh yeah, it tries to pull you in and
Like friends' voices and stuff, like
yep,
mimicry.
yep. I've actually caught on an EVP at the movie theater. We were doing an EVP session in the back hallway, and I've actually caught one of my investigators' voice on my recorder, and she was all the way up in cinema 2 with another member investigating.
Sheesh. What about like you're going into all these haunted places and you're like, before you go, how do you prepare? You're like, just all right, I'm throw on my stuff and let's go. Like, or you like have a certain thing you do.
Oh yeah, I do. I cleanse myself and protect myself. I ground myself. Spray the car down with holy water, the equipment, everything before we go. And then afterwards, when we're done, we'll pack up, go down the road away from the client's house, pull off on the side of the road, and we start cleansing ourselves, the car, the
Before you
equipment,
go. Yep.
the tires, because it can attach itself to your vehicle and you can bring it home with
Yeah,
you.
that's the hitchhiker effect.
Yep, same with equipment. They'll attach itself to your equipment because you're using it to communicate with them, and you can bring it home attached to your equipment.
Yeah, that's a big thing, especially like I heard who was it? I talked to Travis Taylor, and he was talking about how when he went home from Skinwalker Ranch, and he saw stuff appear at his house.
Yeah,
His whole family did. So did Lou Elizondo and everything. The balls of light in his room, and he's like,
right.
"Well, that's neat. It just floats and just goes down my hallway."
And that's even like with your demonic too. You don't want one of them things following you home.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Especially like us after a night of dealing with one of them, we're heavily drained and it takes a lot out of you when you have to combat one of those than a regular spirit.
Does it start with like the batteries first, or does it start
Oh
with the
yeah,
people?
it starts with the batteries.
Okay. Easiest thing it can do, right?
Yep.
Battery.
And then it starts going for the people.
Okay. So you go out there, you're like, well, I've got a whole box full of rechargeables.
Yep. Yeah, you can never have enough batteries in this field.
Nice, nice. Well, have you ever encountered something so terrifying you actually had to step away and just leave the area?
Um, Actually, no, not yet. I've
Oh
done it
wow.
for so long. I don't get scared.
I think the only thing that I could say was the story I told you before we went live was the black shadow that was, I'm on Indian burial grounds, and I was the one who found this area in Pennsylvania, and I'm walking through, and me and my buddy, from the army, Birch, we're looking down the path. We're like, that's a 10-foot black, bulky, shadow looking thing in the middle of the trail. I'm like, there ain't nothing there that can make that shadow. And we were frozen there. I'm like, we start backing up just a little bit. very little at a time because I thought it might have been a bear or something.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it like it shrunk or it went into the tree and it started going from tree to tree at us. Wasn't going like walking, running on the ground. It was going tree to tree. We're running out those woods. Like at that point, I was like, yeah, I think we're not welcome here.
Right.
But you've never had to like never went away from anywhere like that.
No,
Wow, man. Huh.
especially on a residential, you never. My job is there to help that client, so I can't show them that I'm scared. I'm supposed to be the brave one that's there to help them.
Very true. You got to put on the strong energy.
Yep. That's why I tell my members if something startles you and you get scared, just walk out calmly. Don't scream. Don't
Yeah,
run out. And then
screaming's not going to change anything.
just say you need to take a break. And that's kind of our cue. I need to take a
What
break.
about like? Have you met like, or have you been around like a friendly ghost?
Oh, yeah.
Like things that'll be like, oh, I put my car key. I know I put my car keys here, and now they're gone, and they're like all the way across the house, hanging up over here, and you're like, you know what? Stop touching my keys.
Yep. Yeah, we've run into several of them and tricksters and stuff like that. And
Oh, tricksters should be. That would be interesting.
oh yeah, we've ran into a few of those in a
Try to
home.
trick the trickster.
Yep. It's funny what they do. They'll play with the REM pods quite a bit, and
All right, that's
I
awesome,
I
man.
used to work in a haunted school, and we had a trickster ghost in there, and I was the night custodian, and her and I used to play the knocking game on the bleachers. She would go on the one set of bleachers and knock, so I'd knock on this set.
Yeah,
Then she'd show up on this set, knock on that one, so I'd have to go over and knock on the other one.
playing peekaboo with the ghost.
Yep. And I actually got to see her one night. She
Oh, that's awesome.
I was walking down the hallway and I felt something like I was being watched, like something was behind me, and I turned around and she was there from like her head to her shoulders.
Oh, wow.
It was a little girl.
That's incredible, man. That's like because most of the time all you hear is like just the voices or the sounds of the footsteps or whatever, but you
Yep.
don't normally see them. It takes too much like energy or something to
Yep.
to form.
Yep. And she was only enough to form her head and to her shoulders, and that was it.
Wow. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome to see.
And I actually captured her on a game camera.
Oh, did you?
Mhm.
See, she's around.
And there were several others in there. There was a former superintendent in there that was grumpy. My dad would come in and he'd get him wound up in the gym, and you'd hear him let out a grunt sound.
Oh,
'Cause that's
jeez.
all they could do.
So what do you do with like haunted objects? You don't take them, do you? Or
We take him out of locations, but I ship them off.
to another place that they can be disposed of?
They go to the Warrens Occult Museum or to my
Okay.
cousin John Zaffis. I've got some in both museums actually.
Oh, wow. What
I've
all did
got
you find that you put in there?
I've got a haunted mask that we
Oh,
picked up. The owner of the movie theater found it in her house that was causing some issues in her home. That one's in John Zaffis's museum, and then last year in September, we picked up some haunted dolls,
oh, I hate dolls.
and these were demonic entities attached to these dolls.
You got to go investigate that doll island.
I've heard of that
Oh, I
place.
want to go there.
And these dolls, they were terrorizing a blind woman.
Oh,
She could only see like bright lights and shapes and that. and these dolls she picked them up at a thrift store, and they were wreaking havoc in her house.
Jeez.
And this one with the blue dress, she was one of the most demonic ones. She actually set a meter off that was sitting in her lap, and we did a session with her at a Paracon the next day because we were on the haunted object panel, and they did a double Estes with her. Well, she made the whole room go dark,
Oh, wow.
and
Huh.
there was no cloud in the sky. The sun was still peeking through the window, and this whole room just went black.
Wow. Now that I mean, hey, that's like, hey, you guys wanted to see it. Boom, here you go. Like, if you don't believe me, come here.
And it was on our table. We had them out on the table, and there was a team across from us, and they had their equipment on. Well, that doll come across their equipment and said, "Murder, kill, beat him with a shovel. He lied."
What? No.
And then she come over to our table to tell us, well, the one doll was only probably about this big. The
Yeah.
eyes was gouged out of it, and it was messing with her heart, making her heart skip beats. And
Oh.
the other doll with the red dress, she would turn her head and smile at a camera.
Oh God.
There was another one that was probably about this tall in a white dress. That one would turn and grin at you.
That is the only thing that would literally make me run out of a house is if I'm looking at a doll and it just turns its head and looks at me. I'm thinking, Chucky's coming for me.
Yep.
And
And
that's a bad thing too when it comes to like movies because you guys have to deal with a lot of crap. Like like oh, it's a haunted doll. It could be a murderer or something like Chucky. No, that's a movie. Like how do you tell these people this? Like, calm down. It's only a movie. Like this ain't real, but this is.
right. Well, that's like you see in Amish colonies and cultures. Their dolls don't have any faces
I didn't know that.
because they believe in their Christian religion that if a doll has a face, they're staring in the eyes of the devil and it could possess the kids. So
Oh.
they make dolls without faces.
Huh. Wow.
And like Annabelle. Annabelle, people say about Annabelle, oh, she's not real, it's made up for hype. I'm here to tell you, Annabelle is real. She has hurt people.
Oh, I believe that.
When
Um,
my cousins brought her home, they brought a priest in there, and the priest threw the doll across the room and said, God's more powerful than the devil. Well, that priest was on his way home, and the first thing he saw before he got in his car accident was Annabelle.
jeez.
And he broke a couple ribs and broke his leg. He was lucky to survive it.
Now, well, they probably wanted him to survive it. Like, here, we put you through all this pain. Now you're really gonna fear us.
Yep.
Like,
And I got to see Annabelle for the first time last September in Gettysburg.
and did you ever have something attached to you like that?
No, thank
Nothing, like no equipment, no nothing, because you guys, like you said, you do it professional, in, out,
Yep, we cleanse, and so we've been lucky so far.
good, good. Yeah, I've heard like I went on, I don't know, another show I was watching, Twin Paranormal, I think it was on YouTube, where they
Mhm.
go to different places and they said, oh, all the spirits can stay here, that are here, but the ones that were attached to this person, they have to come back with us. They can't stay here, and I'm like, why would you want something attached to you like that?
Those YouTubers, that they do a lot of it for entertainment, but I wonder if they've actually, and them 2 are the ones that throw the demon word around a lot. What
Yes.
what would they do if they've actually seen an actual demon in real life?
Well,
I
that's what I'm
guarantee
saying. Like,
they would run out of there.
is it made for show, or is it, or is it real? I'm not like. I want to believe because that's why I'm watching these shows. Like I want you to
And
show me something.
like I said, the amount of times they throw that word around and, "Oh, a demon grabbed me." A demon possession is very rare.
Yeah.
Like I said
Plus,
earlier,
don't you have to allow it in the first place?
yep, you
So
have to
you don't
invite
allow it, man, it doesn't happen.
yeah, you have to invite it.
Yeah.
And
But is
people
that
go to
smart though with them? Like
no,
having something
it's
attached to
not.
them, even if it's good.
You don't want nothing attached to you because that's like channelers that channel into spirits and then they have no control over their body once they channeled into that spirit.
Okay, like you're talking like the channelers that want to like I'm gonna channel the Zeta Reticula,
Yeah.
and they're gonna come into my mind and speak through me.
And like Derek Akora is a good one that was on Most Haunted. He would channel in the spirits and let spirits take over his body.
That's the same thing as possession, though,
Yep. And you have no control over your thoughts.
huh?
You He did that in one episode where they were investigating a prison and he about threw one of the guys over the railing.
Oh wow! See that? There you go. That's why you don't do it.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't do it at all.
Wow, that's crazy. But you get people like that, and they're like,
Yeah, you get the thrill seekers that want to thrill seek. You want to thrill seek, go to an event with an actual investigator and do your thrill seeking. Don't go into somebody's house and start stirring up stuff, and then you turn around and walk out, and then the
or
client
buy a Ouija
start
board and go
holding
in
the
the
bag.
basement.
Yeah, you leave the client holding the bag, and then they're without any answers because you came in there, you stirred it up, and then you left.
Yeah, exactly.
There's countless times we've had to go in and clean up other teams' messes because they didn't do a cleansing or they didn't do it right or they went in there and stirred it up and then
Well, that's what I've noticed. Like most of the paranormal shows out there, which I always do the same thing you do. I walk in and I've got my whole my smudge kit, my whole smudge kit,
yep,
and I go in professional, and I'll do that with myself, with anybody with me, our equipment. Same thing you do, but people are just running into places like, hey, I just got this new meter. Let's go check out this abandoned house, and then
yeah, exactly.
they bring home Satan.
And that's like these urban explorers that are breaking into these locations and some of them are solo by themselves. You don't know what you're getting into when you're walking into one of them.
Never go solo anywhere, people.
And we had a kid do that in a hotel that was we were called in to investigate, and the owner had to close it due to COVID, and the place started falling down, and the roof started leaking. Well, these kids broke in there one night, and it was 5 of them. Only 4 of them got caught.
Hmm.
The 5th one had been going in there probably about 10 or 12 times. He'd tell his mom, "Oh, I'm going to a friend's house."
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's breaking in this place. Well, we were there the one day we were gonna do an investigation that night. We were helping the owner fix the place up, and this kid kept walking back and forth. And I was talking to the owner. I said, "How much you wanna bet that's one of the kids that broke in here?"
Hmm.
And the kid come by a couple more times, and then he finally got the courage enough, and he stopped, and he says, "Which one are you or the owner?" She goes, "I am." He goes, "Well, I'm one of the kids that broke in here."
Huh.
And he said, "I been coming in here quite a bit. I brought a Ouija board in here." And I said, "You did what?" "Yeah, I brought a Ouija board in here and played in the basement with it." I said, "You go home and you get that board and you bring it to me."
Exactly. You need
And
to close it out, and that's actually it's actually one of our questions anyway. Towards the end was might as well get that question out of the board now. Since you're about to go into it, how do you properly close a Ouija board?
To properly close a Ouija board, you move that planchette right down the goodbye manually. You don't let the spirit do it. Everybody says run it in a circle and then do it. Nope, you just physically move it down there.
Now, do you have to just physically do it? Do you have to say goodbye?
Say goodbye and physically thank them for their time. You want to be respectful because if you are talking to a demon, you do not want to be disrespectful. If
Yeah,
they
I usually tell them like you can't come with me. You have to stay here, but I'm thankful I got a chance to talk to you and be in your presence and this and that. I'm happy that they communicated.
Yep, because if you are disrespectful to it, you're challenging it.
So just with the Ouija board, so all that bells and whistles, like, oh, go around 3 times and knock on your head a couple times and this and that and drink off. Like I've even heard where uh, they had a Ouija board. Somebody had a Ouija board and they had a glass of water, and each person that was on that Ouija board had their hand on the paddle and took a drink and put the cup back on the Ouija board. And at that point, they're connected to that board.
Yep. Once you touch it,
And
you're
and
connected.
oh, dude, it was like, I just want to say, as soon as that last person put down that cup, it was like hell opened up in the basement.
Hmm. And that's where you get your kids because they used to sell them in stores as toys.
So they think they know what they're doing, go down there and mess around.
Yep. And I mean, there's other people that use Ouija boards and nothing's ever happened because it's all how your intentions are.
Okay.
If your intentions are bad, you're going to get something bad through that board. If your
Okay.
intentions are good, you're possibly going to get something good.
So that's like you're saying like, so like these people that are like not channeling bad things, but like good things, but yeah, I guess it's kind of a line. It's
Yep. Yeah, and you want
it's
to
difficult
maintain
to like do it, I guess. You'd have to be there.
your self-control as much even though you're channeling letting that spirit come through, you still need to keep that boundary line that it can't cross to take over you fully. So you're still aware of your surroundings and what you're doing.
So you're pretty much allowing it. You're saying in your mind, you can speak through my mouth and that's it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Um,
And then
so
surround yourself and ground yourself when you're doing
yeah.
it too.
All right. So we got the Ouija board out because I know some people are like, you know, like you said, put go around 3 times in a circle and put it to goodbye, and each person has to do this and that, and it's like, no, just go to goodbye,
Yep.
say
Manual.
goodbye, say you're happy to see him, and that's it. You have to leave now.
Yep.
What now? What are some the most unusual or lesser hauntings that you've encountered?
We one of them was we a draconian starseed
Really?
we encountered in somebody's house, and it was brought there to do harm on the girl's stepmother because the girl actually asked for it to come in, and they're known for good or to do harm.
Well, Draconi does not take offense to that.
And so this thing was in the home, and it actually talked to us, but the way they were describing it, that it was something demonic, and because the young girl had a homemade Ouija board that she made, and she was playing with it, and her sister had drawn it, and we
So
got
it was
looking
an
at it.
entity, pretty much a spiritual cosmic entity.
Yep, and
Huh.
the younger sister, she had drawn it on her pad of it grabbing her sister, and she showed it to us, and there was a man also trapped in the home. He was killed in a car accident, and he thought his family was there. So
Okay.
So we wanted to cross him over and send him on his way. So that draconian actually stepped aside to let us
Hmm.
that man on his way, and we were able to send the draconian back to the earth where it came from.
Oh wow. So it's like so how do you differentiate between like this is a ghost, demonic, or whatever. I don't want to use that word. Evil, good intention, bad intention, because yeah, I don't like the demonic word either. But good intention, bad intention, and then I don't know. It's like, how do you deal with that?
Well, it's all
Like, how do you differentiate between an entity and a ghost?
well with your darker stuff. If you use like the religious provocation, if you say in the name of Jesus Christ, what is your name? That religious provocation, it's going to spark it up because
It
they
has
don't
to.
like they don't like anything religious. Where your regular spirit's not going to react to that.
Okay. So you're trying to, you go in there and you're like, let's see what this is first. Boom, 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 boom. Find out what it is. You have a checklist.
Yep. We find out
Wow.
what it is first, and if it's a regular spirit, I've seen regular spirits act malicious, try to act darker and demonic too,
Oh, really?
just to scare somebody.
Like, this is my house. And then it would
Yep.
shrink back
They'll,
down.
they'll get physical and stuff like that. So
Oh, wow.
they'll try to throw people off. They're doing it to scare the homeowner, and
So it's
we're
just they wouldn't hurt the people. It's like, oh, I'm gonna throw something across the room.
yep,
I'm not gonna hit
yep,
you, but I'm gonna throw it across the room.
yep, to make you think there's some poltergeist activity. Plus, you'll know when you have a darker entity in your house because you'll start seeing an infestation of cockroaches, flies congregating like Amityville.
Yep, I
Congregating
know. I
in
know.
your house.
I had to do a major cleansing on the house I live in now because I moved in here and exactly what you just said. Cockroaches galore, and I was like,
Yep.
who lived in this house before?
And then rats, mice, any clutter
Yeah, I
is
didn't have a lot of mice or anything, just cockroaches. Ugh.
clutter's a good indication also if you got something dark in your home.
Wow. Like, but like less like what is the lessest known? Like what don't you see when you go out?
A lot of times they'll go and you'll get a regular spirit if they know you're coming, they'll go into hiding and you won't ever see them.
Oh wow. So you're like, hey, the owner will be talking to you on their phone in the house saying, hey, come on over.
Yep.
You're on your way over and they'll hightail it.
Yep, they'll hightail it, hide somewhere, and then you'll go in there, you'll do your investigation, and you won't find nothing. You'll leave, and then all of a sudden they're experiencing it again.
Oh my God. That must really irk you out though. It's like, all right, now let's go back.
So what I do is I tell the client when I talk to them, you do not mention anything in the house. We're coming.
Not when, anything.
When I let you know we're coming, I will text you. You do
Hmm.
not speak it. You do not say it. And I'm not going to call you when I show up. We're just going to show up.
Hmm.
And usually that works because it catches them catches that entity by surprise.
It would too. Like, surprise, we're here, and then you're walking in with all this,
Yep.
equipment, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't probably, I'm not ready.
Yep. Where
Don't hide nothing."
your darker demonic stuff, they already know it. They
Well, they're
know
waiting for it. If it's dark and demonic, they're like, "Yeah, I think I can take you." They always think that.
they know when your client's reaching out for help, they know who it is. They know what car you drive, what's your birthday.
Have you ever had something come at you like okay, the client said it in their house, and that thing showed up in your house
No, I've never had them in come to my
or
house.
or car or something?
Nope, I've never have because
Oh.
with the cleansings we do, and my house is sealed up and protected.
Good.
So and so nothing's ever come at me. I chase it out of there. It knows with me it's not going to get anywhere with me because
Oh yeah.
and that's like Bishop from the Legion of Exorcists was telling me. The devil has our wanted poster in hell.
Yeah.
Anybody that deals with the darker stuff, we have a wanted poster.
Oh yeah. It's all about choice though too.
Yep.
Like you yourself as an individual will invite these negative things around you by what you're doing in your life.
Yep.
It could be good or bad. If in like, okay, key example of good. Okay, my father, okay, was and my father and my mother, they're on their way back from California, right? And they're moving actually from California to Minnesota. My dad has a 96 Ford Ranger, and I will crap you not with about he's almost hitting 2 million miles. It almost went over the dash twice with the speedometer. He's at like 1,700,000 or something miles on this thing. So he's going through town, and the all of a sudden check engine light comes on, everything. He pulls over. He's like, "Oh my god!" He pulls out. I will swear on a stack of Bibles. He pulls out this fuse. Okay, it's
Mhm.
a 60-watt fuse. They don't make them like that anymore. They
Nope.
make 50s or 40s. They don't make 60s. So he's holding this fuse up to the camera, and it's broken. It's busted. I can see it. It's all black, right? He puts it back in, leaves the truck there, got a taxi back to the hotel, said, "Jason, I could only find one plug, only one of them in the whole town." I said, "Well, go get it." He went, got it, right? Gets back to his truck. I'm on the phone with him, trying to help him out. He pulls the fuse out. It's brand new. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
It's not black. It's brand new. And I'm looking at it going, there's no way. We just saw this last night. Unless somebody broke into your truck and fixed your fuse. Like, how did this happen? Like, if you had stuff like that happen too, like
Oh
something to
yeah.
be fixed.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something you can't explain. You never can figure out why.
I could, yeah, it's like, listen, I'll swear on Bibles. Like, he showed me on the camera, was like, "Look, Jason, it's a 60-watt." I was like, "You're never gonna find anything like that." The next day, brand new. I'm like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, it's crazy.
Huh. Wow. So what patterns have you noticed when you communicate with these spirits? Like, are most of them like wanting to communicate, wanting to be seen, or
Most of them we find want to be left alone,
okay. Well, I can understand that.
and
Uh,
we're very respectful to them. We don't provoke. We go in with the mindset we're introducing ourselves to them.
it's just like with Bigfoot, because like Bigfoot, mind speak. That's
Yep.
what I've heard a lot of lately is mind speak, and I always called it, it's just the voice in my head that I talk to.
Yep.
It's not. I'm not crazy. I'm not, gonna do anything to anybody else, but it's like I talk to it, it
Right.
comes through sometimes, and it's like you have the devil and the angel on your shoulders, and you're like, they always say in church, always listen to your angel. Well, that's a voice in your head.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
you're listening to voices, so it's the same thing.
And that's like us mediums and stuff. We all have spirit guides that
Yes.
help us traverse through the spirit world and communicate with them.
See, I have my hybrid daughter. She's a star seed, and I found her, and me and you will talk after the show about this, but
Okay.
uh, actual evidence of communication that I can provide proof. I have an implant,
Mm-hmm.
and it ever since I was in Ancient Aliens and I got injured at the UAP landing site, so I the neutrino or whatever I was exposed to there, it turned back on. It's back on, and it's like I hold an EMF meter up to it, and it's like I could see the radio frequency just plain as day, and I'm like, there's no effing way.
Right.
But it's true. I don't know how to
Yep.
like prove it, but but that's like mind speak, like I was saying, like you're
Mhm.
speaking to your guardian angels, and church says that all the time. So
And
it's
that's like our bodies give off a natural EMF field. We give off a faint EMF field because of our spinal cord that goes to our brain that sends those electrical impulses.
yes, yes, the heart and everything, because like
Yep.
the whole electrical cardiovascular system is a whole system on its own because of the field it generates.
Yep.
Man, are there is there so there's no location that I can't send you to that you won't run away.
Nope.
Oh, I think that's a challenge, people. Oh, all right. Well, for anybody out there, how about this? We'll give this video about a week online for Russell, and I want to hear. I want to see what the scariest place somebody can come up with in the comments, and we'll see if Russell will go out there. What about what's the most misunderstood aspect of paranormal investigations that Hollywood often gets wrong, on the screens?
Well, good example is the Conjuring movies.
Yes, and I will agree with that because I've spoken to her myself, the living
Oh,
relative, and
oh, Andrea.
yes, wonderful woman,
Oh
and
yeah, she's a very wonderful woman. I love Andrea.
she definitely told me that book or that movie went way off script.
It did for Hollywood. I mean, like when the mom gets possessed, she got possessed during a seance.
Hmm.
And so that's one thing that Hollywood blew that out of. The same with like Annabelle. Annabelle, same thing too. Kind of got
Yeah,
blown out.
it's like they want you to fear these things more, and you're like, well, doesn't that help these things?
Annabelle Comes Home is more of an accurate Hollywood thing of Annabelle.
Okay.
But yeah, the Conjuring movie, the first one is more of a misunderstood of a movie
Yeah.
as far as that goes. And I mean, Bathsheba, I know Lorraine did pick up on her, but there is no actual proof that she was in the witchcraft.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is a picture of her on the property, but there's no actual proof that she.
Performed
Yes,
anything.
Hollywood just decided, oh, bring Bathsheba in it and make her the villain of the movie.
Yeah. Well, it makes it always better to have like this is the evil guy.
And that's like people say about Ed and Lorraine that, oh, Roger Perrin punched Ed in the face and this. That is not true. Ed was a big man. I don't think anybody would try to punch that man in the face. He's ex-military.
Yeah. Yeah. Same
So,
with me. Same with me. Retired Army.
yeah, he was Navy. I mean, that man survived the bombing, his ship's the one that got bombed in '45 from the Japanese,
Oh, wow.
and
What was it, the Omaha?
yeah, he's and
Wow.
he ended up in the water, and he stayed there, and
I could not imagine that. Like that was way worse than anything, I've seen in combat, but that's just way too much stuff for me.
and
But what's that?
he survived it.
Yeah, I mean, you survive a lot of stuff when your instincts just kick in at that moment. Same thing when you ghost investigate. It's your instincts.
Yep,
They
and
they kick in and you just go into gear.
many people trash them, but they are the pioneers of this field. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing today.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's another thing though, like do you ever work with like law enforcement? Have you ever worked with anybody
Oh,
like that?
oh yeah, I've worked with law enforcement on some urban legend stuff where in cemeteries where they get tired of the kids going out there because they hear this place is haunted, and so they call us in to try to debunk it.
Okay. That's a good idea.
And we've done a couple cemeteries for law enforcement.
Just to they put out in the morning like, "Hey, we sent this team out there and they found nothing. So it's
Yep.
not haunted, guys. Like you can stop coming."
Yeah, I mean, there was one cemetery they called us out. The reports were there were screams coming out of that cemetery. There was you see a blue light, your car won't start.
Huh.
And so they called us out there. We were out there, and we were able to debunk the screams because they had cattle out in the back of the cemetery. So there was predators back there screaming at night. You would hear them bobcats scream back there.
Huh.
We did see the blue light. It was like a
Okay.
little blue ball orb hovering around one of the stones, and we walked up to it and it disappeared and the car did start.
Oh, wow.
We did have something shut a recorder off in broad daylight.
Jeez.
We left a digital recorder sitting on one of the stones, and you can hear us in the back of the cemetery talking. You hear something walk through the grass right up to it and shut it off.
Oh, wow. That's
And
crazy. What
we
about
weren't
like
able to debunk that either because we could see if anybody came into the cemetery. It was so small.
I'm sorry, I just had to laugh at something. Oh my gosh. That's a good one. That's a good one. I gotta laugh. I gotta laugh at that one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying boo, I'm laughing. I'm
Now,
laughing.
now I've seen that at the haunted house at the movie theater
Oh man. Well, I
last
mean, it's like some people do it though. They go into locations and they're like, we're gonna put powder over here and this over here, and
year to see the footsteps and
and you can tell that these things are fake and everything. Like people that have actually investigated, they're looking at it going, "Oh, come on, guys,
yep, yep.
come on, guys, like help our field stay scientific and not myth."
Well, we all know one that's he's still on TV
Yeah,
and
yeah, we
he
won't go there. YouTube loves to ban people like that.
yeah, and I question a lot of it too and
Well, what about let's do one or two more and then we'll get to some questions here.
uh,
Um if time and money weren't an issue, what kind of large scale paranormal experiment would you love to conduct?
ooh, that's a good one.
No issue on the money. Where would you go and what would you do?
I would like to do the big Tesla coil
Like
experiment.
like the tower?
Yeah,
Oh, gee.
out in do it out in Ireland.
That would be different. All right. What about what's next for you and paranormal research and everything? What's next for you guys?
Uh,
Like,
we got quite a few residential investigations coming up. In the end of June, we're going to be in Tennessee at the Smoky Mountain Terror, and then we're at the Euro Shrine event
okay,
in Tennessee, and then in September we're at Bordertown Paranormal Paracon, and
awesome. So
then,
you're just doing the whole tour thing around.
yep, and then October we're going to be in Rock Island, Illinois, at the Rock Island Paracon. We'll be out there with Nesper and a lot of investigators and teams and a lot of celebrities.
That's
Annab-
awesome.
Annabelle, the whole occult museum will be on display out there.
That
Uh,
is awesome.
and then we got asked to do EerieCon at the Ashmore Estates in October 11th. And then we'll be at the Marshall Cinema Haunted House this year again, helping out.
All right. See, I wouldn't mind. Like, I don't get scared going into places like you, like me and you. We don't get scared going into places. We just walk in, we do our thing. That's all you can do. If you
Yep.
get scared and stuff, you're scaring yourself. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of it's up here psychological. If you psych yourself out, then you're gonna believe it.
now, what's your personal take on the afterlife? How has that actually shaped your belief? Like, because you've had an NDA
Yep. It actually
or NDE.
made me a big believer because of me, like, when I go near a cemetery, I hear it's like everybody, like,
It turns something on.
yep. It's like they know I can communicate with them, I can see them, I can get their story out.
See, that's a good thing. Like, and that's mostly what they want is just to be heard, right?
Yep, and so that kinda and then the more you do it, you get more in tune to it, and
Yeah, it's just like like the telepathy tapes that are out there, or the Gateway program that CIA did with the HemiSync.
yep,
You
and that's
do it
like
enough, it trains you.
even my dad was a big skeptic when it came to it. He even thought I was crazy for doing investigating ghosts. He's like, "Ah, ghosts are not real," and then he's
It's
had
like
it
follow me.
he had an NDE also, and
Oh wow.
he started seeing stuff and living with it, and he just kinda ignored it, it was nothing, and that school I worked at, he came in one night, and I was picking cameras up out of the hallway, and his hat got knocked off,
Oh jeez.
and his hand and it happened twice. The first time I thought he was playing a joke on me,
Yeah.
and then we were walking down the hallway, and I'm standing there looking right at him, his hands are down at his side, and there goes his hat flying off his head again. So
Oh God.
and then
Like,
with his abilities, I was like, "We're gonna put them to use, you're gonna come with me," and he's my right-hand man on the team, and he interviews our clients because he's good at reading people. He knows when they're holding something back or they're lying.
yep, yep, yep. So
And
that's the good thing with with me with investigating. Same thing with you. We had the background to like look at these people and go, that's BS, or
yep.
all right, I'm a little bit peaked here.
And with him too, he does cleansings and works with people. He did one we were at an event last summer at Missouri State Penitentiary with, Nesper and Get Haunted at their event. It was the Devil on the Run tour,
Nice.
and this lady, she has what they call POTS disease, which is a heart condition,
Hmm.
and she came in contact with the item. She was getting spiritually drained.
Oh
She was
wow.
she was going in the shock, and they brought her back to the lobby. They thought they were gonna have to call the ambulance for her. Well, my dad was sitting in the lobby because his knees were bothering him, so he's like, "Leave her here with me and let me work with her." So He sprayed his hands down with some holy water. He held on to her hands. He did some prayers with her, and everybody seen this big white glow just go around him,
Oh, wow.
and it just freaked everybody out.
It like lifted the darkness.
Yeah, and he gave her his cleansing medallion, put it around her neck, and she snapped right out of it, and she was good for the rest of the night. She lasted the rest of the event,
Wow, that's incredible. Huh.
and nobody can explain it. I can't even explain it why he gets that light. I've seen it. He
Hmm.
was at the doctor's office, and one of the nurses seen it the one day.
See, that's and right there when you get other people to see it,
Yep.
you're not even like you're walking into a doctor's office or you're walking over here and they're like, "What is that?" And you're like, "You see it too?"
Yeah.
Then
And
you really know it's there.
the first time I saw it was at that abandoned hotel that we investigated. We were standing there in the lobby talking to the owner. And this was about 9 o'clock at night, and there was an old bell there. So he rang it, went to sit down in the chair, and we all three of us noticed this glow around him.
Oh, jeez.
And that night, the paranormal just kicked up in that hotel. I had a good experience in there. We were up in the library, and I walked to the back of the library. The other two members stayed up in the front, and I hear this, and it was metallic. And I was like,
Huh.
I was filming on my phone. I was live actually on TikTok, and I react to it. You can hear me go, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
My one member goes, "Was that you?" And I said, "No, something didn't like me coming back here."
Yeah, right?
And I see this metal toolbox sitting on this table. So I walk over to it and I lift up the lid and drop it, let it drop back down. And sure enough, I recreated the sound. And I still tried to figure out how that lid just lifted up on its own and slammed down. I bounced on the floor. I tried everything.
Well, there's a lot of stuff like that that happens like that. There's like the hooks on the wall like this,
Hmm.
that there's something on it and you have to lift it up off the hook before it comes off and it
Yep.
will fly.
And that same night, my one member seen red eyes looking at her.
Oh. Now is that red eyes, is it always evil? Or can
No,
it be just
it's
can
not.
it be just them saying, like you said, I'm big and tough,
Yep.
but I'm this little.
Well, I think that what she saw was the eyes of a raccoon because raccoons were actually living in the walls of that place.
See, and that's why you do the investigation
My dad
because
and we spent the night in there. Everybody else decided they were going to go to a hotel. My dad and I were like, "No, we're just going to stay here. Why waste the money on a hotel room?" She had a little storefront with a couch and a chair. So we stayed there, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, there's no power, there's no water in this place. We're running a generator, running the cameras and a light off of it. Well, 3 o'clock in the morning, the generator runs out of gas.
hmm,
I'm like, I'm too tired to put more gas in it. The hell with it. I start falling asleep. My dad says, "Hey, wake up." I'm like, what? He says, "Look in the doorway." And here's this big 6'5" black shadow figure standing there looking at us. And never did anything. Just, I didn't feel threatened or
hmm.
anything negative from it. It just stood there looking at us. And the former owner, he was 6'5", big burly German guy. So
Okay.
we think it might have been him just checking on his guests to make sure we were doing all right because there was a power outage.
I got you. I got you. It could
And
be, like you said, we were talking about that earlier about if you change something in that house and they don't like it, they're gonna
yep,
raise HE double hockey sticks.
yep. And to him, we were new, so this was like our second investigation there. The first one, we had a crew of people there when we did it.
So he was definitely checking you out then.
Yep. And that same night, we heard the piano in the ballroom playing. Well, the piano's broken.
Hmm.
We
Oh
were here
wow.
to play.
Was it good?
It only played like one note, and that was it.
Ah, I would have been like, I want to hear a symphony.
And I actually was able to capture that on a recorder.
See, that would be awesome, like that. And you get all this on your recorders and stuff, and you have the evidence.
Yep.
And that's what everybody loves. And I would though, dude. I would love for set up the recorder and it'd be like the haunted mansion and stuff, and start playing the piano.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, they don't work on cue. It all depends on how much energy they can get to do anything. That's why I've got what they call an EM pump that I'll put out for them that they can draw off of
It's
and
like a
use.
mini
So
Tesla coil.
they're not drawing off our batteries. They can use that instead.
Yep, yep, yep. I thought about that. Like that was one of the things I was gonna get in the future was like a mini little Tesla coil type thing.
Yep. And this thing puts out pretty good high EMF, so I'll shove that in like a room in a corner somewhere.
And that'll pick up all the energy then in the building.
Yep. And it doesn't put out a far EMF field, so you have to be right next to it,
Okay.
which is good. So if it's in that room we're investigating and our meters aren't going to pick it up if we're not
Yeah.
near.
All right. Let's get to some questions.
All right.
See what we got here. We got which paranormal tech needs the biggest upgrade? I'm gonna say with camera, with visual,
Yep.
because you can get everything you can get on everything else, but visual has been the hardest to actually capture.
Which we use full spectrum, which is a little bit better than your night vision because your night vision's picking up dust and
Yeah, you've got what? You've got regular, IR,
yep,
FLIR, and full spectrum, right?
yep, yep. And night vision, you'll get people, oh, look at these orbs.
Yeah.
Not orbs.
Well, some of them, listen, working for MUFON, I get a lot of, oh my God, that's an orb. No, that's a planet.
Yep,
No, that's a star that you're looking at that through these IR that doesn't it's not going to come up right as far as visually,
right.
with the resolution. You're never going to get that in focus.
I've actually got a camera that debunks orbs.
For what?
It debunks orbs. A
Oh,
camera.
nice.
One side's night vision, one side's full spectrum. If you got a traditional orb, it should pass through the full spectrum ultraviolet light.
Yep.
If it doesn't, then you're looking at dust or a bug.
Also, not a lot of people know this, but all of those orbs, if it is NHI, that means non human intelligence people. If it is NHI, it is putting out neutrino emissions
Mhm.
from the craft. Neutrino emissions can be both harmful and non harmful to humans, depending on how it's used. So, right there, people, all you got to get is a neutrino detector to go look for
Yep.
UAPs. I've got a MADAR system over here, a MUPOS system on the way. Like I got a bunch of stuff like that. But what about same thing with you? Like visual wise, like
Yeah. Visual needs a little bit of work. The spirit boxes and stuff also, but they're starting to perfect them now. ITC is like KD Stafford. He's starting to perfect them a little bit better than what they like your SB7 would be.
yeah, do you get some of like will they like come out and be like, this is a prototype, we need you to test this?
Oh yeah, well
Okay, good.
we'll do that. KD actually goes out and tests them in caves and stuff where you won't pick up radio stations.
Yep. See, that's what I do too. I'll go like Pine Barrens.
Yep. And his his boxes, he does shortwave on them.
All right.
So you're not picking up radio, you're just picking up the white noise and that's it. He's found a way to perfect that.
It's a almost like a passive radar system for noise.
Yep. And then he's got the reverse sweep ink box, which that one I love because everything is swept in reverse. So when you're getting a forward sentence coming through it, you're definitely got a spirit connection coming through there.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's going backwards, but then it's going normal.
Yep.
So yeah. Nope. Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Let's see what the next. Do you believe this is the golden age of paranormal research? If no, did it pass us or has it yet to come? I think it's yet to come.
I think it's yet to come too. With all this new equipment that they keep developing, eventually somebody's going to get something right and we're going to be able to start seeing them. I got a buddy now that's actually trying to invent the camera that sees EMF.
Hmm. I wonder. I wonder if ghosts put out neutrinos.
They may have. I mean, I've used a Geiger counter on a paranormal investigation. We've gotten hits on a Geiger counter in somebody's house.
Hmm. That'd be something interesting to look into, maybe.
Yeah.
Neutrino missions for like, because you would think even if it was like now if it was a spirit or something, but if there's a portal or
Yeah.
something like opening, closing, there might be neutrinos that you could detect when it opens and closes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that would be something really neat too.
And I've closed portals before in people's houses.
Yeah, I've done it once and wow, just felt just everything was like lifted and lighter and
Yep.
nothing heavy anymore. Like I was walking through the house like, "Oh my god, I feel light."
Yep. I've actually had to close mirror portals too for people.
Never done that before, but I've heard that is a hard one because you don't just have to do that one, you have to do all of them.
Yep, it's hard. And that's why you never put two mirrors facing each other.
Yeah, the Kozarack mirrors. The ones that you could see, like the Kozarack mirrors, I guess they made where you could like you sit in the middle and there's
Yep.
a wall going around. It's supposed to like you could see like different entities and stuff in there.
Yep.
That's almost like putting a mirror and a mirror together.
Well, there's also that protection with mirrors that you visualize in your head that you're surrounded by mirrors with the backs facing you. And it's supposed to protect you from like your dark or demonic because a demonic entity can't look at itself in the mirror.
Ah, okay. I did not know that either.
They do not like to look at themselves in the mirror because it shows its true form.
Oh, okay.
Why That's why your demonic kills your animals, because of the way their
Oh,
vision is, they can see when it tries to disguise itself, they can see it as its true form.
that's what we were talking about before too. When your dog was barking and
Yep.
stuff.
When your dog growls and gets very protective, same with your cat,
Okay, so sixth
that means
sense.
that means there's something dark.
I understood about dogs and cats because it was like they're more perceptive than us when it comes to that.
Yep. And the way their eyes are and their vision because they're able to see at night and stuff like that, so they can see them at their true form.
Yeah, we can only see like the tiny spectrum of light. Like we don't see gamma, we don't see
Yep.
neutrino, we don't see radio waves. We don't see any of that because no waveform at all, really, except for you do see a kind of like a waveform when you're in the desert and you're looking down the road and you
Yep.
see like the steam you think
Yeah,
is
the heat
coming
coming
off
up.
the
Yep.
ground, but there is no steam there.
Yep.
That'd be kind of like that.
And even with a regular spirit with an animal, they're gonna wag their tail, they may bark and growl or something like that. But with a demonic, they're not going to. Their fur is going to be up, and they're going to be on
On the
edge,
alert.
very, very protective.
Now, have animals scared spirits away?
Uh, Not that I know of.
Okay.
Any of the houses I've done, it's never have.
Okay. Just wondering. I mean, dog man, hey, my dog is my best friend, but darn it, get that ghost out.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. I told you. I told you, we got one for you.
Oh yeah. I beg
Demons
to
are not
differ on
real.
that.
Believe in calling ETs demons and being a hybrid. I and the family, I got mistreated with abuse and cruelty. Sorry, I got to go PTS recall. But, we'll take that out the screen. But since she's a little, perturbed, but I'll give it to you.
Demons are real. I mean, I've seen them. I mean, a
Is
lot.
it, I got to put this in there. But can you say it's demon or can you say it's an evil entity?
They're pretty much the same as what.
Like, because that's kind of what she's saying here with like demons are not real because, well, like we were saying earlier, I don't like the term demon because you have good and you have bad, you have
Yep.
neutral, you have, it's not all black and white. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to say that's a big toss up because it is like it. I don't know. I'm gonna give it to you.
They are real, but they are rare in cases.
So
I
most
mean,
of the time, it's another like entity or a
yep,
ghost or a.
yep. It's not all demonic. Like I said, you'll encounter one out of maybe 20 cases you do.
So you believe in like entities from space and higher
Yeah.
dimensions and stuff like that.
Oh
You just
yeah.
think that some things will come through that are demonic.
Yep.
Okay, I believe that too. I do. I've seen some stuff that I just there's no way in nothing that would be a good thing that I saw.
I mean, like I said, I've got the battle scars to prove it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you got the scars, you got the proof, you've got this. I mean, that's what this is about. That's and and plus, we don't we don't definitively actually know yet. We have to get better equipment and
Yep.
better everything so that we can better understand it and then we can come out and be like this is what it is.
And that's why I work with the demonologists, Farrah Rose and Father Bob.
You work with everything. Yeah. That's the way you do it.
And Farrah assists in exorcism. So
Nice. All right, let me see here. Last question, unless we got another one in here.
they're a
Is there a
dwelling.
refuse to investigate something that you believe may be above your pay grade?
Not,
No?
no, not for me.
Wow, that was double. We said at the same time. So, all right, all right. I guess we're putting it out there then. I guess me and you are going to a location. Somebody somebody find us a location. I'll go. I don't, it doesn't matter where you send us. I'll go to the Doll Island in Mexico. I'll go to the Aztecs pyramids, but you just gotta wait till I get some money around to go.
Yeah, exactly.
But
They'll
yeah, I
probably,
don't mind
they'll
going.
probably have us go to the Haunted Hill House or that one in New York.
I think if I had a place that I would ever even think about refusing, I don't know if I would or not though, but Montauk at the actual satellite station site up there on Long Island.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I
Oh,
I might pass on that one only because of the fact that, do you know, and nobody does, like how many children might have went through there that were mentally scrambled, that you don't know what you're walking into in that basement.
yeah, exactly.
I think that's the only place I'd refuse to go is Montauk, but or Montauk Point, I think it's called.
Mm,
But other than that, you guys pick a location and I'll go. I'm down. So let's oh, got another one. Yeah,
that's actually for you.
he loves his questions. Uh Ronnie, first time here. What got you in the paranormal field? Oh, me? MUFON. When I MUFON first got me into it when I was in MUFON, but you investigate different things, and you like MUFON only deals with UFOs, Bigfoot, stuff like that. The stuff that stuff you can see scientifically, all that. We don't deal in the ghost and paranormal, but I do that on the side because you always run into stuff like that when you're going into a
Oh yeah.
I'm going into a location saying, "Hey, we saw, an alien in our backyard or something, or we saw, lights in the sky, or, lights went down our hallway and they think it's alien and it's not. That wasn't an alien that just went down your hallway or an entity. That was the spirit. That was this, that was that. But you really never know unless you get there and investigate. But yeah, that's what got me into the field. What about you, man?
For me, it was when I talked about earlier in the show my paranormal experience as a kid, and then wanting me to get in to help people because as a kid, like me experiencing that, I wanted to get in to help people with their paranormal experiences and help understand it, and especially people with kids, that takes first priority for us.
See, that's the best thing right there. That's what I love about you guys. When I started researching you guys and everything, I was like, I have got to have this person on because you're a very kind person. You're a very, very kind person. Like, you don't charge, you come out, you help them as much as you can, you don't give up on them, you're the type of people that we need out in the field,
Yep.
representing, the field.
And a lot of that with the residential, a lot of that's starting to die off now. There's not many teams that do it anymore.
It's all for theater.
Everybody wants to do events and do these big haunted places, but they forget about the little people out there that are dealing with this stuff in their houses and don't know where to turn.
See,
That's
me,
why
it's like me,
we
it's
get
like
called,
go ahead.
we get called constantly. My phone does rings day and night constantly.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, yeah, like they need help. They knew who to call.
Yep. So, and there's only a few of us that deal with it. Like my family, Nesper, Ed and Lorraine's team, they still do residential. D&M Paranormal here in Missouri does. We do. All the Cold Spotters teams still do it because that's part of our deal with Cold Spotters. We're there to help.
Yeah, exactly. Let's
And
see here.
with Amanda, she doesn't take anybody and everybody. You got to be a legit paranormal team.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. He's one of the genuine guys. I do.
Thank you,
I
Grant.
got to talking to him and it's like me and him are like this when we were talking.
Yeah, and people say I have an ego and
I
I'm a
think
liar.
you have a very floaty personality. I like that.
They say that I show off in front of my friends and family, I'm just me. I'm not
You're you're
better
you're
here
floating.
than
You're like a cloud. You're like, happy go lucky.
Yep. I'm here to help people. I'm not better than this one, that one out there because they investigate different than me. That's
Yeah,
what this is. You think outside the box. You do your thing.
exactly. That's the only way we're gonna get any farther.
Yep. That's the only way you're gonna learn is think outside the box. Because I
Exactly.
mean, your ghosts from the 1800s aren't gonna know what a EMF detector is, or a spirit box, or a recorder.
That's why you go in there and you tell them like, this won't hurt you. This will do this, or
There's a team out of Texas that I was on his podcast, and they do with kids with motion lights. They'll set up like these little stools, and they'll put motion lights on it, and they'll do duck duck goose with kids.
oh wow, that's cool.
I've seen the human pendulum done too,
Nice.
which
See,
actually works pretty well too for communicating yes and no. But you got to get somebody that's trustworthy, that's willing to be the pendulum.
yeah. I mean, I don't really have an ego. I just have like, I just tell it how it is.
That's me.
I don't know if that's egotistical by telling it how it is, but it's like that. It's like, okay, somebody comes at you and they're like, you know what? You investigated the haunted mansion and you put out this evidence and it's all fake. And you're like, well, it's raw video and, here's the raw feed and you can see for yourself and blah, 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 blah. And they're like,
Right.
see it for yourself. That's the way I am. Like, I'm more of a like, okay, I'm here. If you want to be here and help the conversation, let's go. If you don't,
Yep.
I mean, I'm still going to be around. I'm retired from the military, so when I started this podcast, I'm not reliant on money. So when I investigate, same thing as him. He's probably not reliant on money either. He has, another thing he does. And that's what we have to do. This is a side thing. And then once we get enough people in here and get enough you know, connections, then we can, start to build a better community. One that's not based on this whole money system. Like, I ain't worried about the money.
Yep. Me neither. I'm not in it for the fame or the money.
Nope.
Yes,
Like,
I'm related to the famous couple that paranormal investigators, John Zaffis, that were
yeah.
all on TV. I'm just me, and it's not like people think. I've known that I was related to Ed and Lorraine my whole life. I didn't find out till a few years ago.
Oh wow.
So I was doing genealogy on my family and found a cousin who was related to him that put all the pieces together.
See, that's pretty cool. Like later on down the line, putting everything together.
It's not only Ed and Lorraine. I'm related to Lizzie Borden. I'm related to Vincent Price and Boris Karloff and Walt Disney.
Oh wow.
So,
Hey, you got a good family line going there.
so that's also why my calling was to the paranormal too, probably because of my bloodline.
Yeah. Yeah, blood does call to stuff that you do. Let's see, what's the darkest case?
My darkest one would be that partial possession case that I did where the upside down cross got scratched in the lady's neck and her eyes rolling in the back of her head.
Did you like have to like leave and immediately get like an exorcist in there that day or
No, she wasn't to the point where she needed an exorcism yet. That was that entity basically showing us, "Hey, look what I can do. You keep pressing your luck, and it's gonna get worse."
mm.
She was just at the oppression where it was showing us and putting the marks on her, and
Now when you're when you're marked, are you you're not possessed, but
You're oppressed.
are you connected?
Yeah, that entity's already connected to you. You're its target.
Because that's what they say about like skinwalkers and stuff too. Like if they mark you, then they can follow you.
Oh yeah, and skinwalkers are a different breed. I've worked a skinwalker case here in Missouri, and
Hmm.
it actually attacked my father and pinned him up against a tree.
Oh wow.
And he kept having this bruise that kept showing right here on his wrist for like 2 weeks straight.
Whew.
But I didn't stick around because of my dad and I both were both part Native American.
Yep.
His mom was full blooded Comanche Indian, which are descendants off the Navajos.
Oh wow.
And it almost killed me that night. I almost got impaled by a fence post through my stomach.
It threw it at you?
No, we were walking. We heard something up in the upper part of the cemetery, and we started walking up there. And I had my buddy from Livingston Paranormal Society with me, and he shined the light down. He says, "Stop! Don't walk any further." I was like, "Okay, what?" And I looked. He says, "Look down," and it was that close to going through my stomach. It was almost touching me.
Oh my gosh.
Then an owl sounds off right above our heads.
Owl. Now is that I've heard of that too with owls. Now with owls, is it extraterrestrial or interdimensional or
Well, if you in the Native American belief, some Native Americans believe that an owl is a messenger of death.
now don't they also believe that it's part of knowledge?
Some do, yeah, some
Okay.
tribes do, and some tribes believe that an owl, if you're hearing an owl next to you,
Okay.
it's a messenger of death.
Wow.
But that skinwalker shapeshift from a red-tailed hawk to that owl.
Whew. I've seen that before actually. There was some show online where they were chasing one and it was night vision and the guy said he shot it with an arrow
Mhm.
in the back and wrestled it down and by the time he went to go like grab whatever it had on him, it like flew out as a bird and I was like,
Yeah, you're not gonna kill a skinwalker. They're an old Navajo witch doctor.
yeah, aren't they like they do something to get the power to be able to transform, but it's so grotesque
Yeah.
and something that you do that, it literally will break your mind.
Oh, yeah, you see an animal acting kinda retarded that doesn't act right. Like, 2 of my members decided they were gonna go back there during the day,
Mm.
which I told them, I said, "Stay out of that cemetery." They went back there and they seen this squirrel couldn't even climb a tree.
Now, oh, isn't that rot disease or what's it called? That disease that's going through the animals now.
Yeah, there's something like that, but this, they said, was kinda acting weird. It wasn't like a disease. They said it just couldn't like, it couldn't climb a tree,
Wow.
so they
Can
think
can a ghost possess an animal?
yeah, they can. I mean, a dog, they can
Hmm.
possess a dog like your Amityville case where that dog got
Okay. Yeah,
nasty and
that's very true then. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, wow. So like, oh wow, that now that would be something. Um, somebody in here get an Amazon parrot that can speak 10 million languages, and we're gonna see if we can get that possessed.
right.
Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Do you think the way that YouTube, Google runs genuine, true paranormal investigating by pushing to use some clickbait words with their demons showing a scary face? I mean, anything online is going to be considered clickbait. Even this is.
Yep.
it just depends on if it's for the right reasons or not. Like if you're sitting there and you're giving factual information, I'm all for it. But if you're going to sit there and put a scary mask on and, jump around the corner and scare me or something, and it's not scientific and all that, I'm just click next.
The only one for YouTube I would trust because they got a reality check was
Mm.
Overnight Paranormal because they did an investigation in the Warrens Occult Museum. And the first time they asked, they said no to them
Oh,
because
geez.
they weren't ready and how
Who
they
is
were
this again?
Overnight Paranormal
Overnight Paranormal. Okay.
YouTube. And then they asked several years, they asked again, and finally they said, yes, you're ready now.
Huh. Well, it
And
was probably the attitude they're in. Like,
yeah, it was the attitude, and they were fooling around. They weren't taking it seriously,
you don't want somebody at your house that's going to rile everything up. You want a
especially in
professional.
especially in that museum. You do not wanna rile anything up in that place.
Well, you get people hurt too.
I mean, the shadow doll alone is also dangerous too. That shut down the whole power grid in West Monroe, Connecticut, so
Well, have you seen these guys that are on YouTube that open these divot boxes they buy online? Like
mhm.
every time they do that, I'm just like, well, there goes another one.
And most of them do it for entertainment on YouTube. They're hoping to get their own TV show and
Yeah, until something comes home with them.
yep, and they just play around. I mean, the Foreman brothers, I've watched a little bit of their stuff. I can't really say that they're fake in their aspects, but there's quite a few of them that I question quite a bit on it because one of them that's on YouTube, I investigated a place that they were at,
Yeah.
and the stuff they said in their video was never caught.
See that's the thing. Like it's always like that. And just like he said, it's always like that. I can go on YouTube right now and the first like couple podcasts I had like I had the ET, I had the co-founder of the ET Embassy
Mhm.
project on here. I had I'm gonna have Joseph Bassett on here from Paradigm Research Group. I'm gonna have all these heavy hitters on here, but like he just said, I got 3 people watching. But if I put on here Russell Reynolds, seasoned
Yeah,
ghost
exactly.
demon hunter investigator, I'd get like 1,000.
Yep. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
you are right, man. That's another thing, like the clickbait you were talking about.
Well, there was one YouTuber I asked to be on my podcast, and as soon as I asked him, I was immediately blocked and his profile was deleted.
And you're like, you know what? Hey, you're sitting there and you go, hey, you and I hate that too. When somebody puts out like information, they're like, oh, this is the truth. No, that's what you'd like to put out, but that's what you're not saying the truth.
Right. And as soon as I asked them, and they know I'm a seasoned investigator, and right away I'm blocked and no answer because
You're not allowed to come over to my house. Why? Because my Barbie doll says no.
yeah, exactly. And it's like they don't want me to question them on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because once you start questioning, then it's like, okay, oh no, my belief system gets crashed because I thought it was a ghost of my departed father, but no, it was the fact that I was running way too much electricity through my box in my basement, and I needed to put more protections in there, split them up a little bit more so they're not You know what I mean? So you don't create so much EMF.
Or they get one little piece of evidence, like one little EVP, and they milk it for what it's worth for entertainment.
I've seen that too. I've seen that too. There's a bunch like that. There's one of like this. I want to say it's like a night vision camera looking at the windows,
Yeah.
and you see like the alien come up and look around and stuff, and then go back down. I'm like, oh, come on now.
And you can fake a lot of stuff, I mean, like there was one episode of Ghost Adventures where the brick goes flying across, and if you actually zoom in on the video, you can see a piece of the line tied to it and someone pulled it.
And I hate that too. It's like, okay, that's why I need, well, and I know it too. When I go into an investigation, I need more cameras. You can never have enough cameras
No, you can never.
because you're sitting there taping this way, and something happens over here. You don't catch it. You don't catch it. But if you set everything up beforehand, that's what you need to do,
Right.
because you're going to be in another room walking, and something's going to happen in there. You're never going to know.
Exactly. And I mean, there was even that one episode which Jason Hawes talks about on Ghost Hunters where Grant's jacket's hood gets pulled up from the back and Grant's hands in his pocket. Prove
Yep.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. When your camera is like
Yep.
facing here, I can't see your pocket to prove it. So it's like
Yep.
you're going to tell me what you want me to believe.
Yep.
That's what I don't like. I don't like that either. Me, it's more about, all right. Here, somebody says, well, you're lying. Okay, well, it's only my perception of what I came up with the evidence. You
Yep.
know, I don't follow dreams. I don't follow wishes. I follow, somebody calling me and saying, hey, this happened, or I might go to a place myself, like, and just visit and see what's around the area. But no, when it's like, these people, they're sitting there and they'll put something out online and it's clickbait, just like they said.
Yep. And then when they actually get nailed at doing it, they get very defensive on it.
But they can't prove it.
Yeah.
My hands were in my pockets, man. You see them? They're in my pockets.
Yeah.
No.
Where's the
Uh,
little where's the little fishing line attached to it with a hook pulling on it?
yeah, like there's so many things out there. Now, I have seen pretty, good videos too. I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm
No,
not saying, everybody makes up the stuff either, but it's like you use your gut, use your brain. Like if I go to an investigation, people, and I'm going to tell you this is what happened, I'm going to have a camera facing every angle of that room that's going to catch 360
yep.
because I want to be able to prove it to myself.
And that's even like us. What you see is what you get. If we don't catch nothing, that's what you're gonna see. We're
Yeah,
not
like and
we're not
me.
gonna pick nothing for anybody.
No, and it's like, okay, send me the location. I'll go on live. I'm not going to pre-tape a show. I'll do it live with the equipment. You can see it for yourself going off.
Yep.
That's the way it should be. Not like, okay, I just released this video, but it's going to be 2 weeks until it comes out. So I got to edit all of it down. No, I'm going to do raw videos of paranormal when I go out live. If I don't catch anything, I didn't catch anything.
That's what I do. I do live. I'll ask clients about going live in their house, and that's all you'll see is the investigation. You won't see them, but
Yep.
so people can actually see. It's more for educational purposes. So,
Exactly.
like, there was one investigation, I was sitting in the closet and the REM pod's going off on the millimeter.
Yep. And that's how you have evidence, though. You show it. If you're going to sit there and say, this happened, show me it happened.
Yep.
And I believe you. But all right, let me see here. At the end of the day, everyone's looking for definitive proof, not a maybe or it's fake or this. Yeah, it is. We are. At the end of the day, we're just looking for proof. And that's what I said. You follow the science. You
Yep.
don't follow, whispers or this or that. You have a machine, you get results, you put out the results.
Well, that's like pendulums. I'm very skeptical on pendulums because they can be easily manipulated if you're moving your hand or you're say you got a little twitch like that, can move it back and forth. I'll
I
run I'll run equipment with it.
I I appreciate the offer, but that is one thing I'd never ask. I'd never ask anybody to fake anything for me. Sorry, guys. That will never happen. If anything ever came out on my podcast that was fake, I will officially take the hit for it because I didn't catch it, but somebody else did. You
Right.
know, I'm not going to catch everything. Russell's not going to catch everything, but that's why we have, all this, connections and contacts. And, I'm not a photo expert. I'm not a video expert, but I know somebody who is.
Right. And that's even like the Amityville case where my cousins had caught that little boy peeking out of the doorway. Now that's captured on a 35 millimeter camera.
Exactly.
So, and there's no kids in the house. The Lutzes are gone. So how do you explain something like that? And
Yeah.
people try to say, "Oh,
There's
that's fake. They made that up." Back then, when that was taken, there's no such thing as Photoshop.
And it's a 35 millimeter camera that's on a negative. You could
Yep,
see the negative roll.
exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that's mostly what people are doing. Let me see here. That's for you. Yep.
Apologies if asked what gave you the urge to create a YouTube channel on this genre. Either wanted to investigate or document, or
Tired of other channels, other reasons.
I created mine so you can actually see my investigations plus my podcasts and to educate.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do
And that's
I do a lot of lectures and stuff like that. I get asked to guest speak and
what we should all be here for. If you're gonna investigate the paranormal, be here for the right reasons.
yep, do it for the right reasons, not the wrong ones.
Yeah. Like I said,
There's so much drama in this field right now, it's ridiculous.
yeah, and then you know what? It's like and it's also, groups fighting with other groups. It's like ghost hunter group versus ghost hunter group. And it's like, dude, I don't care. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna, do my thing. And if we align, we align. But if
exactly.
we don't, we don't.
If they'd spend more time investigating the paranormal that they do fueling the drama, maybe we'd make some more headway in this field. But instead, they want to trash each other, who can cut whose throat, stab this one, stab that one in the back, and it's just crap. I mean,
Oh, yes. That's me. The same question about you creating your channel. I created this channel to give people a voice. That don't that either don't have the means to have a podcast or anything and can come on here and tell their story. That's why I made this podcast in the first place. It's not about the money Could care less about that. Like I said, mine is based off of, love and trust. And this guy here is awesome. You know, he's doing it for the right reasons, and that's why I have him on my podcast. It's not about clickbait and this and that.
Yeah.
It's about doing what you're passionate about, showing the evidence, and giving people more information that they didn't already have. That's it. You educate.
Yep.
But that's pretty much why I created this podcast in the first place, was to give people a voice, to give, people like Russell a voice. Hey, anytime he wants to come on here, give me a phone call, text, and you'll be on here that night. That's what I'm offering, for everybody. You go into a location and it's haunted. Hey, come on the show. Let's do a live tonight. Let's go live on location. I'll give you the floor. It's all you. You got the floor. Show me what's going on.
Right.
That's why I created the podcast. So if anybody, had wanted to know, that's why. Give people a voice. Retired military, any paranormal stories when I served? Oh, I do have a good one. So I'm in Iraq and I'm in my bunk. And there's nobody in there. Okay. My buddy just left. My buddy went down to latrines. These are like almost like little trailers, kind of, with like sandbags all around them and like two beds, like one on each side. Little cubby holes. And then all of a sudden, I hear this voice coming from the other side of the room. I'm just like, I'm like half awake and I'm waking up. I'm like, I thought didn't he go into the, and I started getting up and I started walking over. Soon as I walked over to the other side, it was like I interrupted something doing something over there. Oh yeah, I got hit in the face. It was like, and I still think to this day that I had to have been sleepwalking, dreaming something, because I still don't actually believe that happened, but it did. I walked to the other side and get hit in the face with this like book from my buddy's bed. And he walks in and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I just need to go lay back down, dude. Like, I think I'm seeing things right now. I got to lay back down. But yeah, like stuff like that. Like, it's happened to me in the service. Like, just little things like here and there. You'll see like faces or hands or a whisper here and there of like somebody that passed, or it's kind of interesting and yeah, a little freaky at the same time. But what about you, man? Like, what about you? Like, as far as like paranormal goes?
Well, I was never in the service, but yeah, it still gets me. I get shocked sometimes when I run into stuff and something quick happens. That's your normal body reaction when it comes to that. But that's basically what I deal with. I mean, my house is haunted. I'll get shocked sometimes when something goes on in here because my house has got 3 confirmed deaths in it. I can't hear you.
When you got there, though, you said, you went in and you went cleanse, cleanse, cleanse,
This house I didn't cleanse it when I got here.
So you do it like when you're going out, come back in.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
what's here is one guy was killed in a tornado here in '75, and my mom passed away here, and then another guy had died uh, from cancer here. So I don't I don't cleanse it out. If they're free to come and go as they please, they don't bother me. I don't bother them. But they do like to be acknowledged.
Oh yeah. That's
If
that's all they do. Like it's like, hey, please talk to me. Like,
I was on another podcast and I didn't acknowledge them, so they were cutting my equipment out. And then once I acknowledged them, then they stopped it.
oh jeez. Wow.
And it was on with a psychic, and she was picking up on it because she even said to me, "Your house is haunted."
And that's when you're like, well, hey, it is what it is. And do you oh, what is this? Oh, this is for me. Brown former army sidewalk. I do not remember that. I was actually not there for that one. I was deployed from 2006 to 2007. So I wasn't down there for that one, and I'm not quite sure. I remember the story, but I'm not quite sure exactly about the incident that happened because, like I said, I wasn't there for that.
I saw Tammy Garrison said about love to have you on the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. She's my co-host.
Oh, okay.
she's my co-host. Yeah, she's in the hospital right now. She had some surgery done, so she's recovering right now in her hospital bed, but she's joining us.
Oh, prayers. Hope you get well soon.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was gonna put out was about the prayers for my mom and everything that she just got out of surgery and everything and send some love and support her way. But let me see a question. You can go first if you want.
Yeah, for like us dealing with the demonic, you got to have a strong faith to battle something like that. If you don't have faith, you're gonna get yourself hurt, even killed by them.
I'm gonna say I gotta read that again real quick. I'd say it's not important that you go to church. It's important that you believe in a higher power.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's God, Buddha, Hinduism, whatever. If you're believing in a higher power that can help you personally in your journey, and it's a loving entity and not warlike, then you know, that that would being a part of church, involved in your faith. Yeah, I mean, but you don't have to go to church. You
You
don't have to
don't,
go to church for
you don't
that.
have
It's like believe belief in a higher power because even if okay, let's say all the Bibles are wrong. They're all wrong. Everything ever written in the Bible is wrong. Okay. Well, we still came from someplace higher. They still came from someplace higher, and
yeah,
so forth, and so forth, and so forth. And so eventually you're going to get to a God that is just going to be almighty. So that, yeah, I mean, I believe in a higher power. I just don't necessarily believe that you have to go to church to achieve that.
exactly. I mean, we'll go to the church to get a blessing before we go out on the demonic case because we need that extra power to battle stuff like that. But I mean, if we're going out to deal with a regular spirit, just
Yeah,
doing the regular stuff at home is fine.
exactly. Exactly. But all right, let's go ahead and close it out with final message to listeners. Where can they where can people follow your work, and how can they get involved and help you with what you're doing?
You can find us on Beyond Life Paranormal Research Missouri, Cold Spotters Missouri on Facebook, Beyond Life Paranormal Research, the Missouri edition on YouTube, BLPRMO on TikTok, Beyond Life Paranormal Research Missouri on Instagram. You can find me on Supernatural Inc. on Facebook and YouTube every Saturday night at the Beyond Life Paranormal Podcast. If you need help with any investigations or house investigations, you can look us up on Google. My number's on there, or even on Facebook. My number's there. You can just call us. You can email us at beyondlifeparanormalresearch@gmail.com.
I also have the website is in the description for the Beyond Life Paranormal Research Missouri. So anybody needs his website, it's also in the description.
No, we're not on Twitter or anything. We're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, yep. But hey, who knows? Expanding, right? Expanding.
Yep.
All
We're
right.
actually getting ready to start a Rumble channel also. So
Oh, nice, nice. All right, man. We'll stick around afterwards. We'll have a chat real quick.
all right.
All right, man. Give me 1 second and we'll close this out. Hey, man. Oh, man. I love this guy. I'm gonna have him on again because he's got a lot of information, a lot of great information for you guys about the paranormal, about the inner aspects of the veil. Come on, guys. Who does not want to know about the other side? Like, everybody here wants to know about it. My pet has passed away. My dog has passed away. My family member. But guess what? Are they really gone? Contact Russell Reynolds. Let's find out. All right, guys. Have a good night. And I will see you guys on, let me think here. We have one coming up on Saturday with with Woolwine. 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 I gotta remember that. Oh, he's got a different name, believe me. It's a tongue twister, but anyway, it is Jeff Woolwine. He's the groundbreaking researcher and lasting impact on the field of UAP studies. He is the one that founded the term the jellyfish UFO. We will have him on Saturday. So stay tuned, guys, and thank you for tuning in to the Galactic Family Podcast. Peace, love, and light, everyone. Have a good night.